if you'd like to describe yourself, Ashton.
Ashton, they are an earth genasi with green stone skin and a dark purple crystal hair. They're wearing an awful lot of leather that looks like they've been wearing it for a very, very long time with red fabric lining it. And very obviously a giant hole in the left side of their head that has been filled with slag glass, and beneath the slag glass there's a little bit of an opalescent brain that can be seen through. One of the eyes on the cracked side is milky like a tiger's eye gem. The cracks run most of the upper left side of the body and have been patched together with what looks like slag melted gold to piece everything together. They also have on the back of their very hand-decorated jacket the words, "Just don't." And a big glass hammer that they carry around that very, very gently, just around the base of it, says, "Fuck off." So that's Ashton.
You said you knew who held my brother's bounty?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Well, that's my client,
Well, if it's a
Gianna
job-
Hexam.
Gianna Hexam.
Yeah.
Who is that?
JH.
She's a collector of sorts. I don't want to say harmless necessarily, but she's good for her word. She gets things done. She likes people not to ask questions. And once she gets pissed off about something, there's really nothing to be done about it.
She's hired you before, though.
Many times.
Just you?
I have a debt to pay off.
What does that mean? Is this part of your old friend, your friends?
Yeah, so since you're, looks like you're sticking around, my old crew, the nobodies, we had a job to rob her place. We didn't know who she was. It hardly mattered. It was just grab something, get out. Simple stuff. Didn't go well. Really, really, really didn't go well. Long story short, and I'm sure at some point if you want to hear the whole fucking tale, you can buy more liquor. Everyone had to skip town. I got hurt. And she figured out who I was, what I did, and instead of turning me into the authorities, let me pay it off. And I've been doing that for a while, and honestly, it's a good gig.
This group that you used to work with, the Nobodies, did they, if I might ask, do you resent them for all leaving you?
Absolutely fucking not. I would have done the same.
I thought you said they died.
No.
Maybe I just assumed that, always.
No, they very, very smartly took off. And I would very, very happily took the debt. It's what you do for family is you can take care of them.
Do you know if they're still together?
I do not.
So that was the last you ever saw or heard?
Yep.
The similarities.
To break into her house and take something.
Yeah.
You got hurt?
Is that this thing?
Yes, it is.
Are you... Oh, that might be a rude question.
Oh, please.
Are you all rock hard?
That's
What
never a
time
rude
is
question.
it? Is it 3?
That's second shift.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't checked. I mean, the outside, yes, and what little inside I've seen is yes.
I'll tell you what, I wasn't always. This wasn't how I started.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I was soft once.
Do you bleed?
Kinda, yeah. I think you've seen it actually.
I know, but...
Because you've seen me get the living shit kicked out of me, I believe. Well, you were there, I think.
Yeah, I was there. I was kind of just not paying attention. That's not true. I was
No,
making sure you were
I'm
gonna be
just
okay.
having this moment where I'm realizing that perhaps one of the reasons why I allow myself to get the shit kicked out of me is in the hope that people are actually fucking watching. So that weirdly hurt. Holy shit.
I was just trying to take money out of people's pockets while they were busy.
Apology accepted. Thank you. Wow, yeah, that's some insight shit.
You weren't always this way?
No. Started to kind of shift when I was younger.
How young?
10, 11, 12-ish, I guess.
You shifted.
Slowly, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Don't really know why. Got some theories. But, yeah.
Can I touch it?
Yeah.
No? That's weird.
I'm not charging you anymore. Yeah, sure. I was just debating asking for some cash. Yeah, go ahead.
It's just very pretty.
Thank you.
I might try to steal it one day.
I would be very entertained.
I'm just kidding. I won't. I'll let it stay in your head.
No. This isn't over.
Okay.
This isn't over by half.
Game on.
Game on.
I can smell.
Can you read the plaque or
Let me
see
give
what it
a
is?
look-see.
Okay,
What's this?
so you head over to the side and you can see this kind of raised bit of stone, and in the center of it there's a small, almost like a half pillar, and on it you can see there is a wooden box, and mounted and kind of facing up from there, you see what looks to be a leather headband with side elements that kind of like curve upward, but looks to be a sculpted brow where eyes look through. It's almost like a mask and a headdress of curved leather that almost curves up like a flame, and it has these like long tethers of leather strips that come down from the sides that have been dyed into like blues and reds, and you see on the plaque. It says, headdress of a Lith priest of the cult village of Hishari before its destruction. What terrible things has this artifact seen?
Wow, look at this.
Yeah, we were looking at suits of armor. Anything?
Okay. You go ahead and inspect the suits of armor.
Ashton and I were looking.
I'm giving you advantage because, yeah, I'm just checking joints, so.
So while these are suits of classic armor I used on the map, these, as you get closer, are more like leather-clad suits of detailed armor. These look similar in design as to the mask that you saw in the main central piece there. Something about them that seems weirdly familiar to you.
Weirdly familiar.
To Ashton or
To Ashton. Just kind of a leather kind of chest plate. You can see like there's detailed scrolling on it that kind of has a similar kind of curves at the edges, and where it ends at the shoulders, they kind of come to a long point off the side, so it almost gives like these...
What does the scrolling say?
Well, the scrolling's just kind of designed to it.
Oh, okay.
But at the base of each of them, you can see it says ceremonial Hishari armor.
Hishari.
And they
Yeah,
look like
each
the
boulder
base is
with a
connected to
round-
anything? Like they're on a dummy, I assume.
It is a wood, kind of like a wooden skeletal structure, a very, very basic one, just to hold the armor in place and to give the image of what it would look like if it was worn.
Is it trapped if I wanted to?
can I look for traps on the suit of armor?
Yeah.
May the
That's
power of the
investigation,
wolf
right?
guide you.
I'd say with this, it's this would be investigation because you're like carefully
Really
looking
looking.
through and kind of like
Guidance.
putting it into
17.
17. Okay, doesn't appear to be trapped. No.
All right, when everybody's on the steps, I'm just going to take the helmet once everybody's on the steps.
Okay. Anyone here train in history?
You know I'm not.
Nope.
Only
Wait,
if-
You are?
Whimsy.
Roll a history check for me.
17 total.
Okay. And circling back and taking a little more time, not being quite as intensely, driven at the moment. You do recall hearing about Hishari. It is a village in Issylra, to the north of Marquet. And it was born as a commune around a charismatic leader that delved into esoteric elemental worship, was eventually found decimated a couple decades ago. Theories point towards vengeful enemies destroying the town and its inhabitants, or toying with uncontrolled powers got out of hand. It's used often as like a cautionary tale of cults, essentially. That, like, you know, if in following charismatic leaders that promise a lot without substance, and listening to conventional wisdom, especially that of the older, more pious cities that tend to govern large portions of Issylra, it can lead to their downfall. So you do know of like the tale of it's very much like a cautionary tale.
Stuck in my head because it sounds so much like Hishari.
Yeah. There's elements of it that remind you of that, but like a dark Hishari path, if you will. So you grab the helmet, you head back up the stairs where you came.
Got this notebook. Let's not.
What else did we get? We got the notebook. You got a helmet, or you didn't get the helmet?
I've got it.
I want to do something.
Yay.
Sure, yeah, what do you want to do?
I would like to walk over to the side of Ashton while he's sleeping.
Okay.
And I want to I want to watch his head and try to see if anything's happening.
Oh,
cool.
Inside his brain?
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to see the brain?
So, in the low light here, you take quite a bit of time. From a third-person perspective, this is really creepy. You are just inches from the crystal-like exposed portion of their dome.
Mouth breathing.
Yeah, like just you see like the fog going in and out.
The goat eyes.
You don't see like a brain. It isn't like a glass dome with, you know, fleshy organ visible, but a close look you can see the inside looks like clouded, cracked crystal. You see what looks almost like a storm of quartz frozen in place, like an odd natural ice that is just locked in time. And as you focus on it, occasionally you see a bit of red kind of spark, and a bit of purple just kind of glow and shift. There's like a very, very subtle microcosm of chaos and energy, and the rest of the evening is yours.
I'm gonna put my hammer in the other room.
All right.
I will also bond with you. I'll bond with both of you.
Ooh, that's wise.
Just to sort of connect and
Alright.
check in, and I will also grant you an extra bit of guidance that way.
All right, so what are you doing?
So we're casting Detect Thoughts
At
Okay.
the same time,
Okay.
pushing as deep as we can.
and asking him questions about what happened that night. Tell us anything you remember.
Well, we'll see what we get, and then we'll follow the
Yeah.
thread. Yeah.
Okay.
They're really going. Okay.
And you're not resisting.
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
He's not resisting.
He's not resisting.
Okay.
So you push beyond just a naturally strong barrier towards the complicated personality that is Ashton. The sense of almost like rusted gates opening before you, kind of shaking as they let you in. That's the sort of emotional ride that you feel yourself being brought on as you begin to delve within Ashton. What questions do you ask?
What were you looking for in her house?
I don't know.
What was the last thing you remember?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No, yeah.
But you start to get flashes of memory. Little like, damn it! Coming up! Shit! Just little flickers. You catch one image of a dark corner of a tavern with a bunch of figures on a table, and you can just barely see the glasses of Milo glinting off some nearby lantern light, and there's somebody else there in the group that you don't recognize being like, these shipments she's getting are timed. There's something to it. I think tonight's our chance. More running through the streets. Back to darkness. Quietly creeping the wood. Footsteps in a dark interior. To the right, you see the shape of a familiar white bust. Back to darkness. And push deeper. You begin to sense empathically from Ashton a brewing anxiety as you see in a room that you don't recognize what looks to be runes on the ground beginning to light up and glow. And there's an instinct to run. Then it blinks back before that. And you see a crate hidden off to the side. And you see Ashton taking the hammer and using the edge of it to crowbar open the top of this crate. As a voice behind's going, quick, quick, go! We don't have time! Back to darkness. You see Ashton's perspective looking over his shoulder, and you see a woman with kind of wild, tangled hair, and what looks to be like really dark makeup just smeared across the eyes and the cheeks, wearing kind of like a ragged hide, who's currently going, quick, 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 did you find it? And then looks down, and the top of the crate is open, and Ashton's hand reaches in and rummages, and you hear the sound of many glass things clinking. Pulls free, and there is a singular glass vial in his hand. Not enough light to make out more details of it. And this memory now begins to feed into the one you saw previously, as these dull red runes begin to glow in the chamber. Back to darkness. The next flash is the sky, and the edge of the balcony getting further and further away.
Calm him, calm him.
Okay, I'll zoom out and I'll cast Calm Emotions.
Okay.
I don't want him to experience this again.
Darkness. And then flashes. Oh god! Go, 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 go! Shit, shit! You fucked it up! Stop it, let him! He's dead, just leave him. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And you're just seeing shapes and movement and blurred states shifting in and out. And then a bright light. Unfocused. These large, kind of flickering shapes kind of just drifting in the air from the perspective. Like dust particles out of focus, just lightly bleary-eyed. And then a dark shape steps in front of it. The glasses pull away. You okay? No way. And a smile. And the spell ends.
Ashton is going to drunkenly find Ira's, the room that they just trashed, and bring my last cup of rum in my beautiful porcelain blue cup that I now have. And sit down and pull out of my bag the Rashi helmet from the museum and just put it down and find a place to sit and not stand and just drink and stare at the fucking thing. And plans to pass the fuck out in there.
okay? Your eyes long grow fuzzy, and before you eventually succumb to consciousness, the last thing you see is that mask staring back at you. A numb tingle in the back of your mind. Ashton. Enveloped in shadowless infinity, too bright to blink nor look away, you are a child. You are worried as others rush to finish something you do not understand. You do not hear. Your elven father shouts orders without sound, pointing about excitedly. You look back to your saintly, strong mother, the fear within you growing with the tension in the air, but she touches your shoulder and kisses your head. She points ahead as the many people take their places around the vibrant, glowing gateway. Your mother steps to your father and hands him his vestments. He places leather mask and headdress upon his face, the details curving upward as if reaching for the sparking opening. It begins.
I saw my parents.
Your parents?
Yeah.
Aren't you an orphan?
I'm gonna give you like 10 seconds to work that out.
So you do have parents.
5.
But you did, but I didn't know if you ever knew what they looked like or saw them.
I don't.
But then how did you know that they were them?
I do.
You just know.
It's a dim memory that, that was just suddenly really fucking clear.
Do you want to tell us what they looked like?
No. They were, actually, I've been meaning to ask, did that helmet, the armor and the helmet is exactly what I think it is?
Mm.
Okay.
Is that like?
They were football players.
Is it the armor that you took?
The helmet that was the stuff we saw in the museum. I don't know why did something.
The helmet that
You remember he took the armor in that museum and
stuff from the museum.
I pull out,
the Gianna Hexa?
Why was it there?
I pull out the helmet that I stole from the museum. It was some sort of ritual, I guess. I don't know. They were doing something, and I think my mother said, I think it was my mother said, it begins. And then I woke up, had to.
It begins.
I don't know.
What?
This is it. This fucking thing is it. It's what I fucking got.
Is that helmet or armor from somewhere that you recognize, or people,
What
or?
did it say in the museum where it was from? Do we remember? Did you write it down?
I did, and it's a
Sounded like Hishari, but it wasn't Hishari.
yeah.
That's right.
Ashari.
Sorry.
Which, while the term, like the language base is similar, it isn't Ashari based. It is more elemental based. It's what the kind of secondary portion of the word is derived from.
What if you put it on?
I'm not
Probably
putting it
not.
fucking on.
Well,
Okay.
but I mean, what if it's like a lock and a key? Like, what if you put it on and you grow wings or some shit?
I throw it to you.
Well,
You figure it out.
You can see the kind of, it is a cured leather mask and headband combination where there are these kind of leather tendrils that curl up almost like a living flame in the back that kind of weave and pull upward. There is a sculpted heavy brow that pulls across the nose. It looks like it's a ceremonial dress more than it is an armor.
Got it.
It also looks slightly damaged.
Sanders?
The helmet, or the headpiece. Can I do?
I can identify it.
Yeah, I was going to do an investigation check for
I feel like we did. It
initials
was a
or
basic ass thing last time we
Yeah, it
were.
wasn't.
I recall it's just a basic ass thing.
It's just a helmet.
like a ceremonial headdress.
I'll admit I was working out the courage to talk to you, Orm, and because I don't know. Thought maybe, I don't know. I thought maybe you would know what the fuck it is. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Would have triggered any kind of knowledge or memory I had when I saw it the first time.
Roll a history check.
That's an 18.
18. You've heard about it once, the Hishari village. It's kind of at least in Hishari terms, it's used as a kind of a tale to spook people from toying with the elements if they don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
You don't know much beyond that. You know that it was a group of people that delved into things they didn't fully understand or knew how to control.
But it's somehow connected to my people, or?
Only in the sense that the Hishari are considered, and long historically, guardians of the elements within Exandria, both control and uncontrollable. What the Hishari village did was reckless, and they paid for it. That's basically what you know.
Okay, I'll share that little dribble of info.
Yeah, it was a memory of the last day I spent with my parents.
How old were you?
Too young to remember. And I remember vaguely watching everything fucking go. Everything just rip apart.
What do you mean? Metaphorically, physically, what do you mean?
Oh, wind and light and air and people flinging through the air, cracking and breaking, and
This is your last memory of your parents?
yeah, I woke up wandering the deadlands outside the city. After however long they fucking found me, put me in the Greymoore home.
So there was a cataclysmic event with your parents and elemental forces?
I don't know.
Remember them saying, "It begins."
Remembered it today. Yesterday. Food, I will have a little bit of drink if we're going to do this. I'll have a little bit of drink before we do this, and then let's pick a room.
Okay.
We're gonna snoop into your brain?
Yeah, let's going to see. There's a lot of holes in there.
Okay.
All right, let's give it a try now. Ashton, you need to tell us how deep you want us to go, because it could be dangerous.
Is there some sort of way to tap out if it's going?
Yeah, one of y'all hit my shoulder if he starts bleeding from his nose.
Anywhere else, though, is fine.
Oh, I'm putting that shit all the way down here.
Okay.
But things start
You detecting
looking.
thoughts? Am I doing this with you?
Yeah, we should do it together.
Things start looking a little weird in here. Please hold me.
What is that?
Define
now?
weird.
Things. If it starts giving off more of its own light than it normally does, if it starts sparking or doing any of its weird shit that it does.
Okay, your head's already
Yeah, it
kind of
does
a
do weird
nightclub.
shit when you sleep, and
So just hold me down if you have to.
As we cast this, I want you to think of what you remember from being at her house.
All right.
As much as you can. And we'll kind of drift into those thoughts.
Well, I remember the group of us. Zealand had opened the door, gotten through the first set of locks. Sally was heading first out, and we got into the room, and I remember seeing a solid flash. I saw one of those crates. I remember being thrown through a window. And I remember everyone panicking.
What happened before you were thrown through the window? You saw the crate. What happened between there?
We were in, and we got caught.
You both start pushing into that space.
I'm also gonna guide myself.
Okay. I'd like you both to go ahead and roll a d20, add your spell modifier.
guidance on Imogen.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
20 for me.
20. Okay. Pushing through, you see the imagery from Ashton's point of view. You can feel the weight of the hammer in one hand as it's pulled behind, the care in stepping through quietly. You flash to that moment as Ashton's trying to recall what happened, and you see the crates. You see 2 of them underneath a blanket pulled aside. Same shape, same make, same markings, though different places. You see one of them open. You see Ashton holding a crystal vial in his hand, the same ones that you've recovered. Right as you see the ground begin to glow a bright red orange, Ashton glances down and you see these runic sigils begin to appear around it before this high-pitched whine begins to streak through. And a detonation that flashes to white. And there's just a gap. Then the next thing you see as the white begins to fade back to color is a glance up at the sky, stars, and a balcony falling away to darkness.
All right, we've seen that before. He said there was time missing at her house. You spent time there?
Just a white flash. There was falling out the balcony. It doesn't add up. And then there was the trip home, and there was whatever happened. This is a lot. I don't know how any of it happened, and I keep trying to think about what happened, and it's just so jumbled.
You push further. Imogen, you both kind of see this amorphous shape of a memory that's kind of drifting ahead of you. As you both step forward, fresh cut grass, you continue to push Imogen. You almost hit glass. As you pull back and look at it, you glance, and the glass almost resembles the weird speckled, somewhat cloudy crystal that fills the open wound in the side of his head. Fresh cut grass, as you push beyond that, in the moment not noticing the separation between you and Imogen, you hear the voices of other people screaming, "Go, go, go! Run! It's over! He's dead! Leave him!" And you see bits of the road. You see alleys and hear the dragging against dirt. You hear the echo of Milo's voice, familiar, saying, "Come on, come on, come on, come on!" The fog and cloud takes over, and you pull back, and there is light, bright light, hurting your eyes. You try and focus, and it's an overhead, directed, hooded lantern of some kind. This is familiar. This is the top of Milo's table. You're looking up, bleary-eyed, blood-spattered, and unable to move. And Milo comes in, out of focus, looking overhead. Large glasses over there, looking about nervously. You can rubbing them, cleaning their hands, firing up what looks to be, and you've seen it around the house, like a small forge that they keep. You lose vision. You come back in, and with the heartbeat, you feel a heartbeat. It's weird, you've never felt a heartbeat before, but in your chest you feel... The warmth is going cold, and the heartbeat is slowing, and you hear Milo's voice saying, no, I don't... Takes and begins pouring this bright, warm material, this almost syrupy, heated glass past the head. It hisses and steams upon impact. There's a moment, and while it's still searing hot in the side of the head, the pain is almost too numb to be pain. It's just sensation. As the steam fills, your eyes begin to go to blackness again, and you hear Milo going, no, Francis reaches and pulls something from the limp grasp of Ashton's hand as it drops out of frame. Your hand. And that same vial, that same gray vial, pulls the top off and just pours it into the wound as well. The steam in the glass begins to turn from a bright white steam to a dark gray, weird, tar-like amalgam that seems to turn to a floating, gravityless liquid before the steam evaporates. And Milo looks entranced to the right of your vision as the fading darkness begins to reverse. Imogen, you now stand before this glass watching beyond, and as you look at this weird glass-like structure that divides the two of you, you watch as the clear crystal-like kind of speckled appearance begins to fill with this dull gray coloration, obscuring fresh-cut grass on the opposite side. But there you kind of glance into it and you see stars.
Does it look like I'm looking out into space suddenly?
It looks like you're staring into the night sky, and as you kind of peer and focus, you push through the glass and feel like you're just kind of lost in an expanse of infinity. You see nebulas and purple and green clouds swirling. You look down and you see Ashton just lying there, motionless. There's a shake and a shift of color, and you see Ashton standing laughing. You see Ashton fully armored, clutching what looks like the bloody body of someone as he crushes them in their hand and throws them apart. You see Ashton destitute on the side of the street. You see them starving and asking for help. You see Ashton on a ship in the distance, pushing beyond a fog bank to unforeseen shores. You see Ashton wearing robes and some sort of a Senate seat, speaking to the public. You see so many different Ashtons, different, all held by a singular thread, but none of them the one you know. That's when your nose begins to bleed, and bleed a lot.
He's bleeding.
Yeah,
His nose is bleeding.
We did talk about this part. Maybe we should stop it.
Am I even semi-conscious or no?
You're conscious. You're trying to recall the memory, but for you, it's like being caught in a loop. You remember it, and you explain what you're seeing, and then you remember it, and then you explain what you're seeing, and to the rest of you, you're just watching Ashton kind of replaying this moment over and over and over again.
Put one hand on both FCG and Imogen and say,
I'm at Ash with a cloth under his nose.
Do we feel it?
You at the moment are kind of lost in this chaotic moment, and it's beginning to shake more and more.
I will, I guess, telepathically or mentally just sort of say her name or think her name.
There's no response.
And if I wanted to snap out of this state, could I?
Do you want to try?
I'll go back to the way we came and see if Imogen is there.
Okay. You go and walk towards the direction you came from, and you hit the wall of glass.
Oh no, we're like trapped in his fucking brain.
Can I go look at Ashton's head and see if I can see anything that's happening?
Make a perception or investigation check.
14.
14. You glance at his head and you see the eyes are focused but at 1,000-yard stare, meaning they are driven, but they're not focusing on anything in particular. You kind of look towards the pupils and they are dilated. You glance past the crystal structure in the side of his head, and as you look in, you can see gentle sparks, just kind of like the tiniest fireworks, just going off.
Which is normal.
Which is normal. And you swear you can see two small, shadowy shapes.
Shut the fuck!
Little teeny tiny.
You feel your friends invading you.
I'm gonna try something batshit.
It's like inner space.
This may go really poorly, I don't know.
I love hearing that. What do you want to try?
I'm gonna punch myself really hard
in the head, and I'm gonna rage. Just gonna give just really fucking smack.
Okay.
Which means I also activate something.
Which I will say in this instance, because you are fighting for control of your body in what is a paralytic state coming out of this odd, imposed daydream, I would like you to go ahead and just roll a d20 for me. On an 11 or higher?
No.
No.
It's so good, but it's all nice, man.
One more command. Wake up!
Make another wisdom saving throw.
9.
9.
That's good.
That's great. 16 is the wisdom saving throw.
All the glass around you shatters at once. You are surrounded by thousands, tens of thousands of broken pieces of glass, crystal, and odd, strange, dark shapes. Both of you are pulled away from each other, your arms reaching out as you both vanish into opposite darkness. And at once, you're back in yourselves. Ashton, you begin coughing profusely and catching the blood from your face.
I'm awake too.
Breathe.
You are all back in your bodies.
Okay.
Slow down, breathe. Breathe.
Quick.
I'm gonna crawl forward and just put both my hands on the side of his face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Did you find something?
A lot of really weird fucking shit.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, fuck.
That seems like it went well.
Orem grows some lavender and tucks it into Ash's lapel. Just inhale.
Oh, that's really powdery. And
Exhale. Yeah, breathe in.
Are you okay?
Am I okay?
Are you? It was a
Thank you. I feel okay, but
You looked like Ashton.
I'm going to open my fucking flask and.
I think we got just sort of caught. We just went too deep or something into his mind.
I've never seen anything like that in somebody's. It's like your brain opens up into this
universe.
Yeah. Ashton, I saw like every possibility of your life all at once.
The captain knocks. Lord Dorolo, I have guests who wish to speak with you at the behest of Lady Keyleth, who is also here. I have a few irons in the fire right now. Vasheim's preparing a great festival of communion, renewing divine wards around the city and preparing miracles long orchestrated by high temples in preparation for this solstice. There are disciples of the betrayer gods that are working to undermine the rule of law and peace. There are arcanists and archmages across the world they're working in secret to gather rare components and design rituals normally beyond terrestrial abilities, some for good of Exandria, some for the good of themselves, others for terrible intent. If I'm going to be honest, I'm already quite exhausted. Sorry, I'm just...
Sorry to add to your plate.
I'm undergoing a lot. I'm sorry.
Thank you for stepping away for us.
Of course. I would like to talk to a few people about this and see if there's any connections. This is all very good. Very good to know. Anyway, my current focus with the other Hishari leaders is a rogue faction in Issylra, and the less you know, the safer you are. So I have to leave here in a moment.
How's that elemental looking right now?
Elemental has taken a little bit of damage, but it's still standing strong.
Like, the vibe, though. I'm just talking about a general
Make an insight
emotional
check.
vibe.
8. Nothing's really changed.
I'm gonna get his attention.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anybody in there, but we gotta get these people out of your home. We're saving everything.
Can you toss me up there?
Wow.
Are you speaking in primordial?
I am.
The elemental, which, unbeknownst to you at this point, the chains of magic that have bound it, brought it to this world and bound it, have since faded. And where you saw once this crystal cerulean blue glow in its eyes upon its arrival, now has gone to a dull, storm-born gray. As it looks at you with this intense glance, it brings its fist back like a massive battering ram, and as the mist begins to pour from its eyes like you saw that once poured from the sides of the forest, it reaches out and grabs you.
All right.
And attempts to throw you.
Yeah!
All right.
Basketball special!
I was hoping you mentioned something about my condition. I don't know, something that you saw? I don't know.
Oh, I am curious as to what this here is. I have not seen.
I don't really know.
Mystery to us both then.
It's, it seems to bend the world, I guess. I have dreams. They're strange and inhuman. And, sometimes I'm other people, but I'm not. And, the few people who've decided to go looking in there, it was not fun for them. Have you ever seen anything like this? I don't know.
Like this, I have not at all. However, if indeed you are going to continue to travel, maybe speak with the spirits. Maybe things that are older than all of us combined might have better insight than this frail form and experience would.
Well, speak with the spirits. Okay.
You already hold a very strong connection to the elements, given she gestures to your mostly stone form.
You know, I've genuinely never thought about it.
Marisha and Laudna chuckles at that.
This was done to me. This was not, or I don't know.
Done to you?
By life.
I understand that.
I mean, it's who I am, but who knows who I was? I don't know.
I hope you'll find it out.
Thank you.
We need your Hevestro. You were assuming he's I assume you're Hevestro.
I am, indeed.
We were sent by the Elder Abadina. You know her?
I know Abadina, yes.
What happened here? Do you remember anything?
Kind of like sits over and finds a rock and sits down for a moment. Any solstice is a strange time, and in preparation for it, we were hoping to reinforce the protective wards to our interior. I do not know how, but Efterin, the Taker, seems to have escaped and made their way back.
Where were they sealed?
The Taker?
The Taker.
I'm the keeper of this shrine, and holds the remains of the guardian spirit of an ancient gal Hishari named Omadua, who rooted here and became the protector of this land centuries ago. You may or may not know, but archdruids often bind with an eidolon spirit to slow their age and truly become one with the realms they protect. Her presence here as a powerful entity, at least as the fable goes, drew the attention of this dark fae entity that you managed to frighten off, Efterin. They are a thief of essence and natural magics. They battled Omadua long ago, which diminished the Taker, and Omadua sealed it away beneath the rock of Cofferfall Hill to the west, and has been sealed for centuries. I know not who was responsible for freeing him, but the night of the solstice, me and my circle were present, and within moments they were slaughtered, and I was taken to darkness until now. I just knew who this was as they laughed at me, caught within their eternal shadow.
I have a few questions before we go anywhere, and I'm going to do them in no particular order. What happened to the bodies? There's no one here.
I don't know. Oh dear, my circle. And you see like a wave of sadness and grief kind of wash over his face. You saw no one.
Yeah, maybe they got away.
Perhaps.
Did you say Hishari? Did you? I heard. I'm so sorry. I got a little.
Galdrashari.
Galdrashari. Okay.
Not Hishari.
I had a moment.
Definitely not Hishari.
Oh. What do you know about the Hishari?
Not a terrible amount, just what the locals are aware of.
Well, we are clearly not locals, so we have just done you a lot of service.
Where to begin?
Pour a little bit of like water from my skin.
Nice.
And pass it over.
Thank you.
Can we talk to Omadua? Omadua?
We'll get there. Oh yeah, we are going to get there.
Are you all right, Ash?
I'm a little tired. Fine.
What is wrong with the Hishari? Why don't you like them?
I have not personally encountered them. There was a humble village of farmers and crafters that was called Tumilo for a number of years, welcoming folk. I believe I passed through there about 60 or so years ago when I was going on a personal pilgrimage in the region. But about 50 or so years ago, a charismatic figure arose in the region named Efterin. Efterin was traveling from town to town, displaying impressive abilities, giving sermons on the elemental spirits of old and the enduring need to restore the primordial powers within our world, a task that is impossible and foolish. They were scattered by the gods long ago. But even so, he drew many to follow him, eventually settling in Tumilo, taking the town through his charismatic will and his words, and renamed the town and his followers Hishari, as a tribute to the historical druid cultures of Exandria, of which the actual Hishari and descendants of the Galdrashari were not very keen on. I know not the specifics, but last I heard that the source of Efterin's power was likely his downfall, leading to the destruction of the village, many of the people and the survivors scattering. It is considered now a tale to pass down as a word of warning to those who delve without understanding what powers they seek.
It's like a false prophet.
A cult leader, if you will.
Where was this town?
That was fairly far west of here. Not too terribly far from the edge of the what would be considered the Udaspire Mountains, the beginning of their base to the far west. They had to do their work and discussion is far from Vasselheim's prying eyes and the judgment of the fine people of this valley to do what they will. But,
okay.
This Abedina you speak of was one of these Hishari, one of the surviving members, but has since come to see the faults in their thoughts and ways and has made quite the place as the elder of the Hearthdale village.
Abedina told us that you were her mentor.
For a brief time. We didn't always see eye to eye, but I did take her under my wing for a brief spell of 3 or 4 years after Hishari fell to ruin.
Do you think it's possible that with the changes happening that she could be re-radicalized?
Things are getting weird out there.
Indeed.
If there's power to be grabbed, might she use it to fuel these ideas of primordial resurgence?
Gods are weakening.
I certainly hope not. There is a heavy lesson and a price that was paid that day.
May I ask, what happened? I'm not...
I was not present, but from what the whispers say to me, they were attempting to channel an extremely powerful source of elemental magic. An artifact of some kind or something that became a centerpiece to their cult. And in not knowing what it was they toyed with, they could not control it. It's now considered a cursed site, and we don't go there.
Do you know what elemental power they pulled?
You ask intense questions. I think you might be somehow connected to this.
Sure.
Well, the power of the Primordial Titans is what I imagine. In the conflict between the gods and the Primordials, it was proven that perhaps such power should not be focused in only a handful of individuals. And with their destruction and the eventual dispersal of the presence of the gods, the lands were left to largely live themselves, outside of the influence of the temples and the local governments. That's where the Eidolons thrive. That's where we thrive. That's why this valley is sacred. Why we pay such strong mind to keeping it as it always has been.
Follow, right? Is that the name?
You look over.
Yeah, sorry. I was like,
oh yes, of course. That's my name.
you seem to know a lot of the history of this place and the. Is that your thing?
It's one of my things. It's partially a hobby, and why I'm one of the advisors to the Voice of the Tempest. Is I spend a lot of my free time just absorbing all sorts of strange trivia.
Like a lore keeper?
More or less. Also trivia master. Get real nasty when we start having trivia nights.
Well, I've got a trivia question for you. And I
Okay.
pull out the helmet and place it in front of him.
What helmet is this? Wait, what helmet is this?
The one that he gained from the museum that
Hishari
is
from
probably
the-
connected to his backstory.
Yeah.
What do you know about the Hishari?
The Hishari. Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in the better part of 20 years or so.
Hishari.
They're a bunch of weird grifting folk. Little ways back, kind of like a cult of personality, you would say, based around a real spicy individual. Started gathering folk across Issylra, talking about some sort of great event to reclaim the power of the elemental titans. Went ahead and borrowed the name of the Hishari and utilized it to spread all sorts of strange promises, and took over and claimed a town as their own, like cults tend to do when they're left alone for too long. Some folks flock to them looking for answers, others just looking for a place to belong, and then eventually, they dallied with powers they were never meant to. Kind of blew up the town. Those that survived eventually just scattered and stopped talking about it. One of history's small mistakes.
How long ago was that?
It was about 20 or so years ago.
A little more, actually. But, yeah, anything you might have about those names and that history and the people who might have been there where I could find some answers about that, I would be very grateful for that upon our return.
Okay, I can do some research on that. Yeah. I don't know where you found that helmet. That's a good keepsake.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a interesting reminder. I put it back in my satchel.
Ashton was probably a druid. A fake druid.
What?
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 What does that mean?
I just feel like you should talk about yourself some more, Ashton.
What does that mean? What?
I don't know how much there is to talk about.
Were you a druid?
You that we
This
don't
short rest
know.
is fucking awesome.
Wait, we didn't talk about this. What?
Did we talk? I don't remember what we talked about.
You were a druid?
No.
He came from a cult.
You came from a cult?
Clearly.
You really?
So wait, but did you like the cult or do you want to fight the cult?
I don't actually have any real memory of the cult. I was
Undecided about the cult?
I was evacuated from it when I was very, very young. I have almost no memory of the cult.
Evacuated or jettisoned?
There was a some sort of interesting dimensional anomaly is the best I've been able to put together. I'm trying to get some more information out of it. Big thing exploded.
That happens to you a lot.
Yeah, it weirdly does. It threw me to the other side of the fucking continent, and not before I got to watch my family torn to tiny shreds, which is basically my first memory. Actually, thank you for bringing it up.
How
Question!
old were you? Question!
How old were you?
To the other side
I
of
don't
the
fucking
continent?
know.
What continent?
How long ago was this?
No, not Tal'Dorei, the other continent.
Where we met.
Marquet?
Marquet.
And how long ago was this? Are you older than me?
I know.
God, I hope not.
You could have jumped time, though. Why not?
I don't think I have, because people are. I'm starting to learn that there's a certain timeline to these things. Honest to God, I genuinely don't. I don't know a lot about where I came from. I wasn't particularly interested. Well, I don't know.
Wait, how old were you?
I don't know.
Young.
Like old enough to talk? Old enough to wear clothes?
Old enough to talk, old enough to wear clothes,
Old
but
enough to walk around.
Toddler,
Yeah.
get into trouble.
7, 8, I don't know.
Okay.
Old enough that I didn't really. It was a long time ago. I woke up in a fucking desert. I got sent to a fucking orphanage, and that's where I spent the rest of my life. It's been a couple decades since, ish.
But you're skipping over the juicy bits. See, we talked because when we were in Hearthdale. I think that's where we were.
Did you just throw up in your mouth?
We were talking to the elder Abadina, and we asked about. You showed them the helmet.
Yeah,
and
Hishari.
And it's the Hishari, because they wanted. It was like this branch off group who was trying to mimic the Hishari. But they called themselves the Hishari.
Sort of mentioned
We
this.
talked about this a little bit.
We did.
They were
So, but
coasting
they were
on the
a cult.
reputation, yeah.
I mean, depends on your point of view, I suppose, but sure.
But that's not the cult that you were in.
That is the cult that I was in.
Okay, so you were in the Hishari.
Now
And you were jettisoned / evacuated from their bowels by yourself or with others?
As far as I know, just me.
Oh,
And
okay.
you said you were dimensionally. What?
Challenged?
I mean, I was
Jettisoned?
barely old enough to talk and walk. I really don't have a particularly clear memory of it. It's kind of bits and pieces. I don't even really have a really clear notion of what my parents really looked like, other than damage.
And now you're trying to find out the mystery of who did it and where they went?
I mean, honestly, I'm here with this group because I heard the word Hishari and it piqued my interest.
Oh.
I don't know. I hadn't really
Sure.
thought about it before, and then I hear the word Hishari come up, and that's kind of clicked a thing.
Has
And
anyone ever tried to find you or locate you or reached out to you or?
nope.
Do you remember enough about your... Are they dead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very dead.
Do you remember anyone who survived this incident that, like, Imogen can use her mind powers to find in the world?
Nope.
Can't really do that anymore, can we?
Not with that attitude.
I know that it's different for every person, but our parents are really the people who raised us. Like, I've got a dad that I don't know. He's out there somewhere, I guess. But that's not my dad.
We were actually very close to where the Hishari settled down in Issylra.
Didn't really know that at the time.
No, and we were in such a hurry to get back to all of you that we.
But it's okay, because I got some people that I'm going to talk to when we get back.
All right.
Going to get a little bit of a download. Tholo, if I recall, was the name.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the fuck I came from. And at the moment, we have more pressing issues.
When we were on Issylra, those druids we were telling you about, they still had a strong connection to the Eidolons.
Eidolons, yes. That is the Assyrian name for them, and there are many in the world that do still worship the old powers.
Like the Hishari?
At one point, maybe.
Are they gone?
Go on, ask. I was born to the Hishari. There was an accident. And here I am.
The Hishari were an uncomfortable community in their short time, bastardizing Hishari ideals and history. Ruled through arrogance and recklessness for the short time that they were around. We thought them embarrassing, but ultimately harmless. I assume this accent you refer to is the lesson that we all took from their experience, the blunder that ended them.
I don't know. Tell me more.
Her, flippant memory of this information gives way to a moment of genuine focused interest. Step forth. Ashton, was it?
Yes.
Should we leave? Is this the thing?
No, I'm not leaving.
You can stay. She looks at you. Give me your hand.
I just should let you know, sometimes this goes very poorly, and it's nothing personal.
She takes your hand and closes her eyes. She focuses, and you watch as the light breeze around her leads to this faint, almost firefly-like motes of power that drift out of her and kind of swirl up through your arm. You feel the warmth kind of traveling up your arm. The glass part of your head begins to spark a bit. Just faintly. And you also feel this deep warmth well up in your chest. And for a moment you feel like you weigh a ton, like nothing could move you. And then the motes fade. She opens her eyes. You carry a power I cannot recognize, and a power I can but seldom feel. Your blood carries elemental power, but not that of the normal Earthkin and genasi in general. You carry a fragment of primordial elemental capability within you.
Wait, what?
What?
The best way I can describe it is you are Titan of blood.
Titan blood!
Tattoo that shit on your neck!
Titan nobility?
Ashton, a Titan of blood.
Oh my
What does
god.
that mean? He's a Titan?
He's got Titan
I know
shit.
this. A friend of mine once carried an artifact that bore the shard of one of the Titans.
That's you.
You're a good dad.
Your potential is vast and frightening, and I'm glad to have you at Orum's side.
I take off my jacket really quickly and I turn it around and I show the hourglass symbol that is very vaguely Hishari and looks a little bit like the Hishari crest and maybe with a highlight of the earth.
I've dreamed this for my whole life, and I have no idea what it was.
She looks like she simultaneously had an epiphany and is frustrated. Maybe it came at a great cost, but the Hishari did something.
Yeah. Apparently.
That is their symbol, an extension of their bastardization. Now, I had no contact with them, but I know their leader, Efterin, waxed poetic about all the tales of his journey, aside from somehow acquiring the blessing of Avantravir, which even that is up for debate. Avantravir. The fabrications of his journey have been largely disproven. I mean, maybe it's no coincidence the natural spirits of the Eidolons took to you on Issylra.
Do you know where I could learn more? I don't know. I don't know anything.
She thinks.
And then when this happened, everything got even stranger.
I'm uncertain if those two get along yet.
Which two?
Oh boy.
When we looked into his mind, FCG and I, it was like his mind held every possibility of his existence all at once.
It was like a fun house that but no mirrors, just different.
The fact that you stand here and function is a testament to your willpower, I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Oh. What happens if his willpower gets a bit slippy? Great.
Look, all of us are ticking time bombs if we're being real.
Cheers to that.
I don't know.
Orm, you've certainly gathered a motley crew. That's not a judgment. I've walked with a few myself.
Tried to make sense of it. I eventually just gave up trying.
That's the key, I think. Put a little trust and just ride the chaos that comes. If you...
Yeah. I mean, if we manage to survive or otherwise, I don't know where I would figure out how to make them not fight. I don't really know how I work.
If the destruction of the Hishari was at the hand of making you, then they must have had something with them, something of power, something that held the essence of the ancient primordials, and they were... I don't know where they would have acquired that unless the Avantravir story has some truth to it, in which case, that might be your best bet.
Find out about Avantravir.
Pardon me, all.
No.
Avantravir, the great tree of atrophy. Powerful ancient tree spirit whose roots supposedly winds between the realms of life and death to watch over the cycle of renewal. Its home, however, is on the island of Kalutha, in the mists of the Shattered Teeth.
Island of what? Say it again.
Island of Kalutha? Right? Is that what you said?
Kalutha.
Have we ever heard of the Shattered Teeth before?
The Shattered Teeth is...
Oh, I know, I have too.
It's more or less... Asking Keyleth.
Wait, what's the Shattered Teeth?
Yeah.
The Shattered Teeth is one of the known continents of Exandria. It is a cluster of numerous islands to the south of Wildmount that is largely shrouded in mists and dubious to travel to outside of magical means. And challenged by competing factions and peoples within. It's kind of its own thing.
It's the Wild West, baby.
It's a thing.
I don't suppose.
We didn't get time. We can't pay two.
Have you ever seen a Deinonychus before?
No, that feels like Paleolithic, like a different time.
What did you say?
Like, before the Earth, before Exandria was like Exandria.
Make a history or nature check, your choice.
Almost like the land before time?
Yeah, exactly. A history check?
In the time before the land.
Natural 20.
Give me that.
Where has this been for like the last 3 years?
I don't know. So 32.
Yeah, okay. You are a very studied individual in eclectic things. In the Cobalt Soul, you had less interest in modern day politics, more interest in books about weird things that had drawings and pictures.
That's why I took deep speech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But during this time, you came across myths and stories about beasts very similar to the ones that you saw strung up here. Things that were said to exist during the time of the Titans. Things that were largely wiped out, except for supposedly in some far reaches of Exandria might still exist, of all manner of size and demeanor. Most people seem to say that elements of them might reside still within the Shattered Teeth, but few, have been able to provide proof.
This is a text from when the Primordials. So there's a lot of stuff about the schism in the Librarium Incantatum, right? Because the founding of Toromunda has its root in the schism, right? The Toromunda was founded when the Emperor of Fire and the Empress of Earth, that were two mighty primordials, were laid low and sealed forever away by the Dawn Father under Mount Igora. And it was in the guise of that mountain that eventually the druids of the Gaudrashari came and built Toromunda, tending to this holy place. And over time, those druids tended to it so well that other people came and sought them out. And then eventually it grew into a city, and that city eventually attracted wizards, and those wizards eventually took the top of that mountain and sailed away. You reach far away the Eldritch Battery with the names of the Emperor and Empress alight. Lime green energy rushing through the city. As the city docks atop Cath Moira, the sun threatening to rise above the horizon, the energy rushes into the ground, their names inscribed. To break the ancient wards, to release the primordials, a colossus of fire, a titan of earth, to join the betrayers and bring eternal torment to Exandria. That is what was foretold. If the primordials joined, all would be lost. As the magic flows, the taxmen suddenly stop, and you hear a voice coming through them from the Lord of Hells. What have you done? Energy erupts, the ground shakes, and the ley line angles up into the heavens. You hear the ground trembling. No! 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 Well, if Dominus is the smile of Exandria, then let's shatter her teeth. The continent of Dominus will have been unfamiliar to most people prior to the beginning of our story. Because in the modern age of Exandria,
The chain of islands known as the Shattered Teeth is all that remains.
Okay.
The most it could be contained to ensure that it would work was the land of Dominus. The earth opens, and fire and stone shatters a continent.
Okay,
I don't suppose this could be an option for power. I don't know. It's something outside of the current struggle that could be useful.
If we have a combination of god power and find what shards of ancient Titan power.
Yeah, the shit that was there before them. The great tree of atrophy, the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. I mean, that's very matrony. This shit kind of works hand in hand.
If it took the combination of the two before to put away Predothos, then
yeah,
maybe we need to do it again. Have you heard? This reminds me of this other emerald artifact situation. The Verdant Tomb, where there was another primordial in this. What was Hevestro? No.
Keyleth, she takes very hard to understand notes. You wouldn't understand. What
Omadua?
that's like.
No. Which one was the name of the?
Omadua was the name.
Omadua.
Fuck.
Another. It sounds familiar. It just sounds similar to
She's just
this,
saying
where there's
names.
another.
Just saying names at this point.
There was another like tree that they called the emerald, like the emerald tree.
You're referring to the emerald crystal that you saw in Issylra that
Yes.
they called the emerald tree. Yeah.
Yes. And it was all primordial shit.
Well, do you remember what was inside that crystal?
Written in the Verdant Tomb, we keep her spirit enduring.
It was Omadua.
Was Omadua.
Omadua was
One of the Drow Galdrishari.
Galdrishari. Yes, that was basically converted herself into this emerald tree to allow the her life force to continue feeding its people. Right? Says Marisha.
Says Marisha. Yes, that is right.
Yes. Okay. London says all that.
Sorry,
Sorry.
It's all the lineages are connected. The Galdrishari are the ancestors to the Hishari. And indeed, Avantravir was once a Galdrishari themselves. When the most powerful of those who connect with the lands and the natural spirits suffuse themselves and become part of the land, they live a very long time, a path that I myself am in the process of walking. These nature magics prolong our life for an extended period of time, and some feel a calling to return to the land. Some become symbolic trees and guardian stones of power for generations to come. Others actually become trees. Avantravir is of the latter.
Got it.
So Vontravir's a tree
Yes.
on an island
Was.
very far away.
And was
great tree of
someone like
atrophy.
you a long time ago.
I assume.
This is huge.
Just saying it's a thought.
But aren't the primordials dead?
Well,
Clearly not.
I don't know.
the primordials may be dead, but it does seem like there's still remnants of them and their history.
Are they dead?
I talked to something
What?
last time. I mean, you were there.
Yes.
What?
During that
You
fight.
did?
What?
Y'all weren't there.
No, we weren't there, but now's a great time to fill us in.
There was a fight in the temple when we were rescuing our friends from the interference of
Holy people.
of holy people. There was a earth elemental, I guess, some thing of stone, and I just talked to it, and it listened to me.
And Akilith kind of nods and looks to you.
And I don't know, I was surprised as anybody, but it happened.
I believe you. I've spoken with a number of elementals in my time. And she kind of looks to Orym with a knowing nod, like, I've dallied with the elements myself, and you're not wrong to follow the thread. Elementals are the progeny of the remnants of the primordials.
Speaking of primordial.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I got it.
What? One of the bees.
You're an even more interesting creature than we thought.
I mean,
You got Titan blood.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's
You're basically a god.
So
I guess.
Maybe we should worship Ashton.
But no, but I think the Titans were the things that the gods dispelled.
Well,
Yeah, but they needed their
Spells
help
is a
first
very-
and then realized how.
The story is the Titans were here first. The gods arrived. They butted heads.
Yeah.
And then they banded together later to deal with, do I have that right? The betrayers.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
That sounds right.
But the Titans have been sort of sealed away or
felled.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that why you're so anti Changebringer? Because you're Team Titan? You're Team Titan Go?
I'm not teen. I'm not Teen Titan of any kind. There's another pun in there, and I swear I could find it, but right now is not the time. I've been Team Titan for 4 hours now, 5 hours.
Yeah, but inherently you might have known. It might have been part of your subconscious.
Maybe, but that's not why.
You saved Imahara Joe and another companion of his, also of quite intellect and capability, and with the aid of Keyleth, sent them off to a safe space with her while she managed to handle her business in the time to come of growing tumult.
It all comes around.
Yes. And then sent you all to the rarely journeyed continent of clustered islands known as the Shattered Teeth to seek information and answers surrounding the essence and mystery of Ashton's past and current nature.
Very excited. Let's do it.
As you all step through the temporarily open portal of the tree that sends you into this strange, unfamiliar landscape, as the sound of the magical trunk closing behind you, you all begin to glance around. You now stand in the center of a relatively dense forest, but here you are, in the middle of this unknown space, in what you hope to be the island of Saval.
Turtle time.
Can you sense the spirits, the spirits of the land, and in other words, do you feel them?
Somewhat. Anyone who spends a lot of time alone can hear them if they listen.
Can you hear them in other people?
I do not follow.
I was told that I should tell you that I'm a Titan of blood, and that you might know something about the Hishari. It's not a long story, to be honest. I think I'm the last survivor, as far as I know, but I don't remember being there.
This is very unique history, I'd say. I do apologize. I do not know much about the Hishari myself. It is a part of history perhaps I have not read about. But
You are looking for the Tree of Atrophy, yes?
Yes.
What is it you seek with this tree?
That's a good question.
The world is changing, and I am trying to figure out what I mean. What my life means, I don't know, and the earth has started to feel different, and I was told that I would find something in this tree that would clarify the power. I don't know.
Ivan Trevir was one of the few surviving civilians of what was previous before the Shattered Teeth. Ivan Trevir took all of the sorrow and loss of all that was destroyed in the calamity upon themselves and became the memory of those who had returned to the land. They took root in the island of Kalutha to become this tree, to forever be a memory of the sacrifice and the sadness, the emptiness, to be a vessel for the sorrow of others, and to become one of the few worldly windows into the realms of death and beyond.
Worldly windows into death?
It sounds like exactly what I'm looking for.
Well, it is a moderate journey to the island.
You talk about the tree as though it was a person or a living entity.
It is still a living entity, more or less. It was once a gorgeous Shari, one of the druidic peoples that protected Issylra through the Age of Arcana. And for some, when they find through long life, through epiphanies of their purpose and what they have to grant to the land, they become something older and more strongly tethered to that purpose. Often, this takes the form of a tree. The nature of the destruction of Dominus, the landmass that became the teeth, was in a tumultuous destruction of the final elemental titans on Exandria. The mass of their annihilation left a perpetual churning elemental energy throughout the Shattered Islands that has never calmed. So they are ever changing, moving. No one knows why or for what purpose, if there is one. But it also makes it difficult for it to be put onto paper. It also makes it difficult for people to want to brave the dangers of the Foghearten and to drag us into external politics, which is fine by most of us who live here.
I'm already kind of walking towards the ground level cave, just looking into it, and put my hand on the wall. And it's in Primordial. I'm just going to say, I'm here. I'm looking for you. And I'm just going to slowly just start walking and just taking a look in the lower.
We are visitors here. We're really sorry to be I don't know if this is your land. But we're here looking for Evantravir?
For what purpose?
For me. Blood of Titan. I'm looking to know myself. I'm Ashton Greymoore of the Hishari. If that means anything.
It does not mean anything to me. But you're looking for answers.
There's a lot going on in the outside world right now. I don't know how it's affecting you here, but things are changing. And
Indeed.
Maybe looking to some older answers.
Do you know where you go and what lies before you?
Never.
Boy, that'd be great.
You just came on a whim and got this far.
And this isn't whim. This is necessity. Sorrow. Friendship. This is... People are going to die. And we need to know things.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Really good for me. 9.
Oh. 9.
I have a -2.
I know.
I know.
Stop talking.
I can't help it. That's why I have a -2.
You have done a service in bringing this back to us and to the family of the fallen. For that, we will not stand in your way. But we offer no guidance other than find your destination and be gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up and touch the trunk of the tree. Are you there? This is Ashton, Blood of Titan. Do I need to show you? Pull out and just using part of the glass, I just give myself a cut and put it on the tree.
Mm-hmm. As you kind of rub your hand across the bark, leaving that bit of warmth that you spread across it, the rest of you especially begin to hear it. The faintest rustling of millions of leaves at once, creating this almost buzzing sensation. You begin to hear this loud creaking sounds as you watch branches begin to shift
Mage armor.
and bend. This still entity begins to all at once move and shift like something rousing from a deep slumber. As it begins to move, the branches seem to bend and curl in odd places, and you begin to make out shapes of where these branches are, where it's almost like elongated fingers that stretch for 20, 30 feet, beginning to flex outward and pull back in. You notice where your hand is, one of the pieces of bark splits, and a massive milky white eye looks back.
Oh, crap.
Cool.
And a little ways over on one of the thicker branches, a second eye also opens, both blinking. You see now almost like a heavily stretched face that is burned and carved into the bark of this tree. The nose itself, about 3-4 feet of it just kind of pulled downward, and almost like a frown that extends out about 5 or 6 feet, stretched deeply, like someone had smeared someone's face across a pole, as it was then bent and gnarled upward.
Cool.
You watch as some of the branches kind of reach down and catch the ground to one side of your troop as another branch kind of reaches to the other, almost flanking you to each side and preventing you from going any direction but back or being forced to address it where you stand. Some of the blackened leaves kind of flitter down from the movement above, and you see the vines shaking and the sound of hundreds of small baubles and trinkets kind of clinking into each other as the tree itself moves to life.
What is it you seek?
I am the abandoned child of the Hishari. I'm the blood of Titan. I seek what is owed to me. I seek my past. I seek power. I seek to know what I am.
And the eyes, the milky eyes, shift and focus onto Ashton.
You are the son of Efterin.
Those of you who were present for the journey in Issylra, you recall Efterin was the leader of the Hishari.
A broken man of burning purpose. Endured an odyssey to walk under my boughs and ask for the golden purpose they felt they were owed by the world. He claimed visions throughout his life that promised greatness, a fated path that would leave his mark on history. He was not wrong. I let him gaze into his future and showed him the relic he was fated to own, that he would use to usher in a renewed ancient power. I showed him the way to the necropolis of Torramunda, where this relic lay uncovered and waiting. His ambition met his destiny, and he recovered his artifact, this remaining shard of Kamort, the primordial empress of Earth, a lingering remnant of her power. He thought his destiny was his to embrace. He was wrong. I granted him this knowledge because he was meant to take it, meant to create and destroy the Hishari, meant to destroy himself, meant to create you. You were his destiny, but in his arrogance he could not see beyond his own aspirations, as it was fated. And now you return, as I have foreseen, to find another piece piece of history's sorrow. The unity that twice brought judgment to Exandria's children. Von Trevere is the name I was given, and the name that endures. I was of those who stewarded the protection of Tormunda, who helped mediate the division of Mount Igora, who trusted empty promises, and watched our legacy become ash.
I step closer. I don't believe in destiny. And if it does exist, I don't know if I wouldn't crush it underneath my boot at every moment I found it.
It exists. I live through destiny. My roots reach into the skein of fate and the golden threads that guide us all.
Well, I have a lot of very big people who keep talking about my fate and your fate. But I have a secret. I'm nobody. I've been nobody my whole life. And there is great power in that.
There are no nobodies that come this far to see me.
Well then, show me.
A spark of Ravshan burns in the heart of the Chinese Mall, a volcanic mass on the island of Igtholdus, within the side of Athos Peak. It is my destiny to show you the way. But be warned, holding the strength of the two in one vessel might sunder it. You bear the dormant strength of the Empress. Find and bestow the might of the Emperor.
Can you see what might happen if this crisis is not averted to the gods themselves?
The eyes close and you feel the wind pull in once more. The air goes cold. And for a brief moment, you almost feel a shared vision. You see the thin line of the bloody bridge widen. You see the skies crack. You see beings of impossible fathomability, light and shadow alike, stepping from the heavens. You see a lattice of infinite gold apparate and shatter. And you see the lights and shadows leave, chased by a glow of endless red. And as those lights fade, left below,
The blue waters and green of the world lay bare. And the fishing pools.
Within you lies the dormant shard of Kamort, the Empress, Primordial Earth Titan. But there exists still, not too far from here, on another island in the Shattered Teeth, another remaining kind of vestigial shard of the other Primordial Titan that was destroyed in the destruction of Dominus, that created the islands of the Shattered Teeth.
Do you know where the shard is? You do?
Tales are told of those who have come before. It burns us. Look.
And they point to the very center of the lava where that roiling fountain is.
I'm gonna breathe deep. I'm gonna try and concentrate.
Oh my God.
And you step into the lava pool.
Oh, I'm gonna fly, and I'm not gonna walk.
Wait, are you diving or are you going feet first?
I'm going feet first. Not crazy.
Okay.
You lift up off the edge of the pool, and you glide about 5-10 feet towards the center, and you can see it like bubbling, and the piece is like flying off. Another one is made on the side as another one crumbles. The elder you were speaking to, crumbles in the spot. Orem, you notice as Ashton begins to glide towards it, the roiling calms slightly. The begins to lessen the intensity of the core.
I fly down into it. I rage.
Okay. You
yell fucking bloody murder, and I rage.
Let's go. Oh. Let's go.
Yeah!
Jello.
The rainbow sparks start going full fucking force.
You take...
It's too late.
Put a rope around.
Oh, no, he's rolled a bunch.
You watch him just vanish into the lake of molten rock. You take 34 points of fire damage as your entire body is rocked with searing pain.
It's for 6 seconds.
Reduced by 7, because I'm wearing a ring.
That's true.
Oh.
So 35 minus 7. Actually,
34.
minus 14, because I have another 7 temporary.
Oh, from the
That's true, yeah.
So that's
20 points of fire damage.
So I take 20 points of fire damage. I'm grasping for it.
All right, you dive into where that center part is. You can't see anything. It's just white hot pain and white hot light as you are pushing through the heart of fire. This is everything that will melt you into nothing, and you are just forcing yourself to its core. And you reach out in front of you, and you go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh, for fuck's sake. 22.
22. Okay. You needed a 12.
Ah.
In the middle of the space, you reach out and your hands grasp as you push through, and it's like pushing through water. It's like pushing through this extremely thick sludge that is burning every single surface on your body. And as you reach out and try and grasp, it's just nothing, and then you catch something that is solid and stuck. It is pointy, it is stone, and it burns as hot as the lake around you. What do you do?
I'm going to grab, and I'm going to fly, and I'm going to pull straight the fuck back out as hard as I goddamn can.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
12.
12. You pull, and it does not budge. Do you stay there?
Yep.
You take 40 points of fire damage.
Reduced by 9 to 31.
To 31.
We can't see him, right?
No. Damn it. He just disappeared.
One more.
This is so dumb. I'm gonna jump in.
Oh, now two.
Okay.
Whoa.
What? So as you're all focusing, you watch as Fern goes running and then leaps in the middle of the air, this strange sphere of flames emerge around her like a dull blue flame encircles her form as she into the pool itself. You take it's 24 points of fire damage reduced to 12. You take 12 points of fire.
Okay, that's why I did this.
And you right behind where that center is. And as you're there, by the way, the rest of you can watch as that roiling has now come to just the faintest slender, like almost like a small flame pillar is just burning in the center. This white hot flame is just as you vanish into it, and you like plunge into it. The pain rocks through you, but you are also a being of fire. This is the druidic nature of your study. Your connection with the elements has always been through flame, the consumption of life to make room for more life. That is what wildfires are. That's what the purpose of fire naturally is to destroy what can make room for what's new. And holding on to that, the pain doesn't stop you, and you feel you impact the back of what you assume to be Ashton's shoulders.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try to just feel around to see if I feel anything.
You follow his arms because you know where he is, and you also feel this like pointed, hard object, and it is burning your fingers, as is the rest of the lake around you.
Can I use telekinesis with my ring to try to pull it out?
You also cast
or is that?
You can.
Spare the dying.
Well, telekinesis requires you to see what you're casting towards.
Okay.
But you're feeling it, which means you know where it is. So I'll allow it, but you still have to roll.
19.
19. As you concentrate, the telekinetic force that you bring through this object kind of billows through your arms, like woof, woof, woof. It's less about you using your mind to control it more than using the force of your spirit now to try and will this thing to shift. And as you grasp it, you feel it dislodge slightly and pull upward. It becomes a little less locked into its position in space and time and seems to have slightly loosened.
Last fucking pull.
Top of your turn, Ashton.
And if it doesn't happen, I'm booking.
It's okay. But you're keeping yourself there, and you helped to dislodge it slightly, which means the DC is lowered for your roll. Go ahead and roll another strength check.
Natural 20 for 28.
The DC lowered from 25 to 20 because of your help.
Nice.
In that moment of both of you clutching this together, you feel it dislodge, and feeling Fern's presence, the words of Avantravir come through your mind, of following a fated path, of knowing you were meant to be there. And in this moment, you know you were meant to be here. You were both meant to be here. And you pull it up, and it becomes free and dislodged. You feel the heat vanish from your hands as you pull it above the surface of the lava. What do you do?
Are you holding on?
I'm getting the fuck
We're
out.
flying straight out and back to everybody else. Not even really caring, just yeah.
The rest of you, for a good solid 12 seconds of silence, you watched Ashton vanish and be gone. You sense him hurting. You're the only one really with an idea that he's still there. The rest of you look on in horror, desperately trying to think of something to do, as Fern suddenly leaps in after and also vanishes. The longest 6 seconds of your life as you try and, in your mind, come up with something to do, the roiling has come to the stop, and that one single flame burns out. The hands of Ashton emerge, clutching this crystal, and then immediately both of them fire out of the center of this lake of molten rock, and you watch as lava just spills off to the sides, and you all kind of duck back out of the way. As they both rise up, and you see Fern still covered in her shield of arcane flame as the rest of the fire and melted stone kind of drips off of it, and Ashton rises up into the air with her clutching on, his entire body orange.
Sick.
A powerful essence is locked within this particular artifact. There's another relic that you uncovered that had been used in the past to transfer the essences
We're fucking dumb.
of certain things into the wearer.
Oh.
You say, open! And as you release the force of your arcana, the glyph that normally kind of appears on the forehead of somebody when you command them appears in the space in the wall. And as it does, that circle area ripples once more, but this time brighter with more ripples before closing in on itself. And there's now an open hole, a cubby in the wall.
Cubby? What's in the cubby?
Well, we're on fire also.
Seven, stick your hand in it.
Can anyone?
I'll go in there.
Don't you do fire magic? Can you make this stop?
I do. Can you put fire out?
She gotta come, come upstairs first.
Do you have control flames?
I'll reach into the cubby.
I don't think I do.
reach
I
in
don't
the
think
cubby.
I have it packed.
I'm reaching into the cubby.
Okay, it's not very big, but there is looks like an old leather satchel that's like clipped over.
Grab it and go. We gotta get out of here.
I will lift it.
Yeah.
Okay, you have it.
Okay. Didn't blow up.
No.
Try to inspect it or get out of here.
Let's get it.
Let's just get out of here.
It's dark now.
Should I try to find is there anywhere we can camp? Is that weird to camp in
We
here?
could try the floor. We could try to climb a tree, although they said tend to be people. And we got that. You got that satchel.
Yeah, I got a satchel. We gotta look at.
Oh, we gotta look at that.
Let's open up this.
Yeah,
satchel.
let's look at that satchel.
Can someone make a fire?
I'll make a fire.
Yeah, I can too. I'll help you.
Thanks.
I open the satchel.
Okay.
We all die.
No.
Not all of you.
No.
No, but the rest of you do watch as FCG kind of reaches there and goes to open it. And as you begin to pull on it, there's a blue flash. And you watch as FCG is slammed immensely and with incredible force into the top of this inner space before poof, 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 onto the ground. You do take 38 points of force damage.
Say it.
I'm okay. Only because of you. Anything else in the satchel?
Well, now you can open it.
Okay, good.
Having set what sort of arcane lock / trap that was on it off. You reach in and it's empty.
Empty?
Oh.
Feels like there's something.
No, it's a bag of. You gotta call for something. Ask for Lewdness's notes.
I ask for Lewdness's notes.
You feel a bunch of papers in there.
Whoa! It's a bag of holding.
Oh, that's fun.
You bring out a cluster of like somewhat crinkled vellum and parchment, as well as some sections of kind of like half-bound journals that are kind of torn in places, like parts of it have been removed or separated.
Take it.
You take it, turn it upside down, and you shake it.
Motherfucker. I thought it was gonna be different.
Yeah.
You do that? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not near the fire!
Just over the fire.
A bunch of coins come spilling out and hitting the ground. Some like gems hit. Food. A couple of small objects land. A like kind of like a staff like falls out of it, hits the ground, and a bunch more papers and notes. Kind of some sort of like an odd. Looks like some sort of like a half piece of like a leather piece of armor or something. Kind of hits in the ground. And that's it. In looking through the beginning of these notes. Good to
It's
know.
scary that he left this. That's scary to me.
Yeah, that's extras.
Didn't even need it.
Yeah.
The first batch of notes seem to be revolving around experiments on divine magic essence. Attempts to distill down the base nature of divinity as an energy that can maybe be replicated or destroyed. A lot of theoretical discussions on it, and the notes are a bit scattered. They're not meant to be presented to others. They're kind of shorthand, and a lot of questions and contemplations and ideas that are partially written and then kind of forgotten or abandoned for other ideas. But that's the first major series of thoughts that seem to come out of these notes. You also see some notes that have designs, sketches, and almost like an engineered blueprint, if you will, for that strange harness that you saw. This is not an elven. The text here is specifically arcane glyphs, like it's instructions for enchantments that are there. But there are some notes in elven that follow those initial kind of blueprints or the conceptual design of it, that speak of a physical regiment of magical infusion. And as you continue on, they note on a synthetic recreation of the powerful natural magics that sustain the venerable Wardens of the Wilds.
Wardens of the Wilds?
And then beyond that, there are additional notes on dryads and fae, and different fae entities that have locations throughout Wildmount. And you can see in these notes kind of hand-drawn maps of the regions. 8 of them have been crossed off. And there are notes about feeding the root.
But
The funnel. Wait, can we
y'all
pull
say
that
no,
out?
you say
The harness. Maybe that's how we.
We
use
power.
Yeah.
Wait, second what power? Whose power?
Okay.
What power?
Pull out the funnel.
SCG
The
is
funnel
always
nip.
just 2 seconds
So okay, we found this harness.
Whose power?
We found this harness. When we went to Ludinus's old tower. This was his, and it seems like he used it to siphon power from ancient entities. He had a map where he X'd out things that he had drawn power from. I think that's one of the reasons he is how he is now. Do you think it would be safe to try something similar to make us?
It's possible. What did he use this for?
He would draw. Let's show his notes. We have his notes.
Yep.
Here.
She kind of glances through and
Siphoning on trees.
Well,
He hated trees.
So he would put it up and siphon their life force into the back of his neck?
Yeah.
What kind of monster? Although that's
Wait.
She's read it. She's already
you're not
read it.
entirely wrong.
What?
He used this to draw the natural magics of fae entities that are very tightly connected to the natural magics of the nature spirits that wander both realms. We, Hishari, who bind with the natural world, live a long life because we give in to these magics and become one with them. He's mimicking the druidic extension of life.
they're just liking less and less.
Do you think he got some of his power from them? That's why he's
still works.
I don't know. It certainly looks damaged beyond my capability.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we can fix it.
If you have somebody you know that could repair it, sure. You have information on how Ludinus has managed to maintain his life this long. This device, I'm uncertain how it could be useful, but if you find somebody who could possibly retool it to be helpful.
Milo?
I could hit up Milo.
Joe? Either.
Or Joe. Or that weird friend of yours, but I'm sure they're not really in the mood.
Oh, Percy, this is...
That guy.
He's not quite in the... This is enchantment heavy. Don't tell him I said that. He has a brilliant mind with specific limitations.
Enchantment heavy. Wait, FCG.
Yes?
Wasn't the woman that...
Dancer?
Yeah, not Dancer. Her... The other one.
Her friend.
Yeah, didn't she work in enchantments?
She did. I mean,
Because Joe's not enchantments, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Milo
Joe
kicks around, but Milo's, small
Is there
time.
anyone here to this that we can talk to?
Not to this degree.
All right.
Unfortunately, this... I can take it and ask around, but even just glancing at this, our enchantments are more based in classic rituals. This is...
Wait.
This is a level of arcana that is a bit alien to my interest.
An ancient. What about the,
D?
Yeah, who brought you back?
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Well, the rune work here is certainly subtle and complicated. I mean, I could probably get a handle on some of its function, but this design is a little beyond just me. There's one place I know with a facility that could probably be of assistance, and a person that I think
would be a functional partner in this endeavor.
Does the name start with D?
No. No.
Good guess, though.
Thank you.
Well, you have 1 in
Where is
26
it?
chance.
Imahara Joe.
Huh?
Oh.
So you settle in. Verna and Joe kind of pull out and begin looking over the harness again and spending some time with it. As they're kind of glancing through it, Joe looks over. If I mean, you don't have to tell me if it's a best not to know scenario, but like, what is this? Where?
Why?
Maybe kind of help figure out what it's for?
It's very old.
Super duper.
Hundreds of years old.
Right.
It
figured
was
that out.
used to siphon power from Fey beings, potentially.
See, that's what's interesting. I looking at this, correct me if I'm wrong to what you're assuming, Verna, but it's like, speak out and say your piece. It definitely seems the device, to what you're saying, can attach to a powerful magic source, be it object, location, creature, and channel or siphon much of the source energy to the base of the neck of whoever's wearing this harness. Mind you, raw energies of most types being infused into an incompatible host will likely destroy the host, unless they are inscribed with appropriate adaptation runes or share a similar essence. This one, and Verna and Dancer kind of lean in, and Dancer goes, this one seems specific in its runic tuning, but I imagine it could be adjusted by a powerful enough enchanter once repaired? Kind of, Joe nods. That's certainly possible. I mean, the details of such an inscription, however, are beyond me. I'm just an engineer, but the designs of enchantments of that power I have no grasp on. But this can be repaired. Take me a couple, 2-3 weeks, probably get some materials I have. But if you're all helping, that'll make that shorter. And the Dancer goes, I imagine it would. I mean, you and me together, we can definitely knock this down to better part of 2 weeks. Verna's like, well, I mean, I'm on the run now, aren't I? What else am I going to do? Where are we going? What are we doing? Whatever it means. If it means we get to toy with this and, I don't know, do something interesting or strange, I'm in.
Will you all need
She'd
some...
get along with the Nightmare King, really
Ira?
well, yeah.
Will you need some resources to buy materials and tools and stuff, equipment?
Yes, I don't have anything on me. Just like, we're, kind of left everything behind. But I think if we can get out of here and get to a place that has supplies, or at the very least access to some raw components, I have probably have most of what would be needed to do the repairs within what I grabbed. Just a few things I need to supplement that with.
Are you going to Whitestone?
Eventually.
Our compatriots here need access to, number one, a tinkerer of high caliber and potentially a lot of residuum to repair the harness.
I think those can be provided. Just need to have a conversation. But I think that can be done.
See, it's not just me. It's nice.
When he opens up, he's an absolute sweetie.
We just don't have it back yet.
Durr.
We gotta go get it.
So we gotta hold on to it. Duh.
That's
Does
right.
it look the same size and shape?
Yeah, it's a big funnel.
It funnels the fucking.
So yes, we gotta go to Imahara Joe.
Imahara Joe leaps up real fast, and who'd be the first person to enter the room, probably?
I'll head in.
Yeah. Imahara Joe goes like, welcome back. Runs up and just kind of gives you like a half shoulder hug and kind of goes over and starts grabbing each of your shoulders. I'm so glad you're safe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Were you able to make any breakthroughs?
we're on the cusp. We've had a couple of speed bumps, and he looks over his shoulder to the rest of the crew, and kind of Dancer kind of puts a hand up on a bit, and you can see there's kind of a palpable air of frustration.
Is everyone playing well together?
Yeah. So far, it took us a little bit to get in the mood for all of our different experiences and theories. A lot of different angles coming at the same problem, but it's come to a pretty positive point. Issylra steps forward, and as you kind of see now the glow on the central table, the harness that you had previously left behind in its damaged, aged state, it currently has a much more vibrant appearance. You can see all of the leatherwork has been either renovated or replaced. The scrolling across it, the filigree is immaculate and thin. The runes have all been replicated. You can see the metallic frame that holds the harness together is polished and also contains its own innumerable inscriptions all across its design. It's the elvish historical quality of its build is even more prominent on display, and it is beautiful when removed from the historical context that it exists in. You can see amongst the belts that pull it taut against the kind of chest and neck area, there is that thicker portion of its metal structure around the back of its neck, and where that same kind of odd funnel emerges for about half a foot or so and kind of opens up and is left open, and you can see kind of runes along it as well. It is inert, but present. Issylra pulls her hand out of her pouch, and you can see her bring this odd little leather roll of tools as she rolls them out across the table, and slowly begins marking in what looks to be a few final bits of the metallic harness structure that are not connected by these inscriptions. As she kind of chisels them in with this tiniest little hammer. Like you're familiar with hammer and chisel and all manner of like instruments used for carving and shaping and sculpting. These look too thin and too frail to be functional against metal, yet with every single small hammer it hit, there's a slight flash of like blue-green energy, and where she hits, you could see a rune is now carved into the metal, no more than maybe a couple of millimeters across. And you watch as she just goes across, muttering under her breath. And as she does, you can see the tools glow. You can see bits of material that she holds in her palm. She kind of spreads occasionally across the front of the hammer, and with each strike, it almost seems to burn. As it does, another rune appears. And sweat dripping down her forehead as she gets close and is kind of muttering, and you can see the rest of the teams kind of fidgeting, not in a impatient way, but just an anticipatory anxiousness that kind of now begins to fill the chamber. Eventually, she gets to the very, very final end of finishing it, kind of takes a breath. Do you all understand what this is?
A siphon of some sort.
This is a much... Well, there are devices like this that have been used throughout the use of arcana, referred to as power stills. They are much smaller. Power stills. This, at this scale, this size and intent, I would call it maybe a quintessence array. It's carefully regulated even in its most smallest applications. They're extremely difficult to craft, and of the highest level of magical enchantment, it's used to extract and refine arcane power from natural magical materials, or used in existing enchantments to transfer magic. Attempts to craft one on this scale have historically ended in tragedy due to both the volatile powers required in undoing the fabrics of magic itself, and those attempting it usually did not have the greatest of intents. Even aiding in repairing this device gives me pause, and I warn you that its use regarding sentient living beings is extremely amoral. But whatever help this can grant in learning about the Martinet and aiding your cause against him, I support that. All that I ask is when all this is done, could you please turn this over to the Council or the Cobalt Soul for its sealing and or destruction? This should not be out in the world freely. Well,
actually, before you go, if you are about to go, we should probably serve the main course. We've got something fun.
One of the things we can take advantage of with this tool.
Whose bag is it in?
Oh.
Probably yours.
Here,
I think he's in the bag of holding.
He's in the bag of holding.
It's in Chinese. Yes.
I'll get it.
Invisible.
I will rush towards exactly where you were.
Are you gonna hold it? You're gonna touch it?
Yeah, I'm
as
gonna
soon as
pull
you
it out
pull
and
it
put it on
out,
the
I'll take control of it so you don't have to hold on to it.
Well, either way. I pull it out, place it on the fucking table.
Okay. As you place it on the table, it burns your fingers, grasping and leaning it over that way. You take 2 points of fire damage.
Cool.
As it impacts, you can see the top surface of this central table cracks ever so slightly at the impact, and you watch as Lord Percival goes,
She can fix it.
Nice. Just build a better one.
Upgrade. You can see there's a faint bit of almost like a carbon ring of immediate kind of flash burn on the surface material. Now the placement here, this is an enclosed chamber, and while the temperature was a moderate chill, now the room almost immediately becomes a sauna. You begin to feel like the flop sweat begin to gather at the back of your neck and on the inside of your armor. Issylra glances down at it, as do the rest of the troop around. Verna excitedly kind of peering across the table. Dancer, who has kind of been keeping a distance from this conversation, immediately kind of glances over with intrigue as Pussy the Second climbs her shoulder. Imahara Joe is adjusting number of lenses on his goggles to get to one that has almost like a sunglass filter across it, so you can get a good look at it, because it is brightly glowing. The center of this crystal has this almost like staring into the sun feel as it kind of sits there and just thrums. She does this odd, almost triangular carving in the air, leaving this very faint trail of magic behind, and kind of presses it forward with her palm gently, and as it does, the triangle expands and vanishes around the object, and you watch that same color kind of drift into her eyes. Where did you get this?
The craziest place. Yeah. In the middle of a lava pond.
In the middle of the winter.
In the middle of a volcano.
In the middle of the shattered teeth.
In the middle of the night.
Shattered teeth. I would like very much one day to pick your brains. I've only been a few times, and it's a curious place. And she just looks back towards this. This is extremely dangerous and extremely exciting. Well, I ask you this then. If you brought this here, what is your intent?
Someone's gonna suck it into their body.
We're just trying to figure out who. We've brought it down to 2 very likely candidates.
And you're certain that's a good idea?
Oh,
absolutely not.
We were prophesied that it could happen from a tree. A tree told us that it might be an okay idea.
We had a long talk.
You see, her have a moment going through her memory banks. The Tree of Atrophy. You had quite the experience, didn't you?
You're familiar with this tree?
I've read about it.
Oh.
Ashton has a shard already.
I am, in theory, infused with a shard of the Empress Kamort.
Really?
So I'm told by a tree.
Lord Percival leans in. Are you being serious? Are you just trying to fuck around?
Adults are talking. Sorry.
You're in my home. You
I went
realize.
right back to her. I am definitely not fucking around. Certainly not with you. Yeah, and this, of course, is a shard of Rashawn the Emperor. The very fact that anybody like me would know these 2 words, I think, is pretty fucking impressive
I'm quite
at this point.
taken back by it, to be honest.
Cheers.
This is curious. So the intent is to use the power of an ancient enemy of the gods to save them?
Or at the very least to stop this terrible, terrible person.
Well, at the very least, I'm curious to see this.
Is it safe to just jump on in and.
Well, let me finish the device first.
Okay.
Well, and we definitely want some opinions on. Since I already have in theory, a shard in me somehow.
And she lifts the small hammer with one final tap of the device. There's a little spark once more, and you watch at once all of the tiny bits of script on this harness begin to light up with a vibrant blue coloration that is moving and pulsing as it goes through, like it's coming to life. As it does, you can see the leather itself seems to glow, this like very, very faint bluish light. The runes then shift to greens, to purples, begins to just shimmer and shift, and everyone kind of steps back a bit. And as it does, you could hear the table, this like rapid tapping, like the very thrum of power on this harness is causing it to vibrate against the table, like it's shaking. The rest of the room kind of takes a look at it. I believe it's working. And everyone kind of looks at each other. Percival leans forward.
Well, we'll see if indeed it has met its expected ability, and then we can celebrate what we've all been sweating over for the past number of days.
What happens now?
Well, obviously we need someone to try it.
Anyway.
Who's gonna put it on?
Hey, I got an idea.
What?
I pull out of the bag of holding. This is a vial of cleansing flame. We only got one of these. But it's got like pretty crazy properties.
Put it on, chat.
I'm gonna heal you up.
Ashton, is the glowing gem in your head? Is that the other shard? Has that always been there?
You can see Issylra is taking a very keen interest in your head as you point this out.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's very dangerous in there.
That's a really busy
dangerous
spot.
in there. Seriously, we almost got trapped.
You're welcome to try, but it gets very strange in there.
She takes the gauntlets off slowly. If I might have a look. This is very odd. You are like a shard of impossible. Have you ever heard of dunamancy?
No.
It is a particular esoteric form of magic that dates before the gods and primordials even. The very nature of the cosmos beyond, the creation of all, the destruction of all, the balance of the universe itself stems from these base fundamental energies. Gravity, time, entropy. Some of it is borrowed and tapped into by the arcana that we understand, but dunamancy is something far older and mysterious. What you have lodged in your head is somehow a condensed focus for it. It reminds me of there's a particular culture on the continent of Wildmount, known as the Kryn Dynasty. They worship pieces of an ancient entity that history has said disseminated itself into crystals, referred to as beacons. These beacons represent artifacts that focus dunamis and are the most sacred artifacts to the dynasty. It is said that there are many still hidden throughout Exandria, and they seek them as part of their worship and rites. And
Are you saying that's what Ash has in his head?
oddly, I do not think you have a beacon in the classical sense, but an approximation, a half beacon, something new something not quite the same, but of similar essence. You have a part in your mind that kind of rests between reality and destruction. The fact that you're standing here is a marvel, and the fact that you walk the path that you do is equal parts worrying and, well, hopeful.
I'm going to trace. And I trace like an octagon with two handles, very roughly, like that.
Yes, quite like that, actually.
Yeah, I dream that sometimes. Yeah, I've my.
You dream that sometimes?
Yeah, it's
hard to keep up. So you have a half beacon.
Yeah, is that the same thing as the shard
in
of
your head? No.
God only
So
knows.
he's got two things in him? Or them?
It would seem, which is why I'm a bit... Well, you're either the greatest weapon we could hope for in this time, or will be our end. I couldn't tell you.
That sounds about right.
That's very me.
Well, boy, maybe we don't add a third.
I was put together by kind of bits and pieces. This was not an intentional thing, and I honestly shouldn't have survived it. It was literally, I was put together with junk.
In an odd way, your fragmented nature might be what keeps all of this in check. I only appeared but a glimpse, but whatever's inside your head is unfocused chaos.
Sounds about right.
Perhaps we don't put another powerful entity within your form.
Yeah, it seems fair. This all seems
Figure out
so
a way to
old.
maybe start up what's already in there.
Maybe. I hate the idea of turning this wonderful city we've put so much effort into safeguarding into a crater. She looks towards Lord Percival, who goes, my wife would be extremely angry.
I like her. I'd feel very bad about that.
Percival, what do you think is best? He kind of goes, we don't really understand the nature of this primordial power much. Perhaps not a public place, and I would like to keep my workshop intact. What do you think, Issylra? She kind of crosses her arms. Well, if you're one for a place of importance, brother. She kind of gives him an eye nudge, and he goes, oh, always so dramatic. Come on.
No, it's a pretty funny group.
They won't let... They're not going to let me do what needs to be done with that thing. I need you to promise me that we're going to figure out a way to make it happen if we're going to do it. Let's just be...
Discreet?
I'd like it to be just us. And if it goes bad, try and save my life, please. Please fucking try. I'm not looking to die. But I trust you to do what needs to be done. More than I trust the others.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I don't fully know what that's going to mean, but I will be by your side if you need me there.
I think it's going to be only you by my side when we do this. I just want it to be you.
Okay.
Because they'll try and stop me. And I don't think you will. I'm doing something this stupid. I put the machine on the floor. If it starts to get weird, just feel free to scream bloody hell. It's okay. I don't... Thanks.
Yeah, you got it. All right, well, let's get you in this thing.
Wait for it. Let's go, quick. And I just start wrapping the thing on me as quick as possible.
Okay.
Let's do it.
It's a good place for it.
I know, I'm getting nervous.
They're noticing.
What if you die? What if, like, you explode?
Well, that'll be a story, won't it? Fuck it.
I don't know.
This is what I need. I need to save everybody. We all need to save everybody.
No one loves a martyr.
Right?
No, but what if this is not how we do it?
Well, we're gonna be fucked anyway.
Okay.
What if giving it to you is not how we save everybody?
Well, I was already thinking that. All right. Okay,
Why don't you save just a little bit?
I just put the shard in there? What do I do?
We did it last time. It goes in when we turn it on, if I recall.
You just hold it near it, pretty much.
Yep.
Listen to what the ancient trees said.
Let's do it. Let's go. You promised.
It's good. Shit. Now you have to go say something like that. All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
One more for the road. I just run over, grab you, hug you, give you a big fucking kiss.
Ooh.
Well, now I don't know if I want to put this in there.
Fucking do it. It's never happening again anyway.
So touching
one you get.
Touching the shard. You take 5 points of fire damage.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I'm going to rage the second I feel a single thing.
Okay.
Putting C4 into a
You
It gets weird.
You
Just yell.
Okay.
You better live through this.
take another 4 points of fire damage.
I don't know.
Burning your hands.
It's gonna be great.
You collect, and you take it and hold it to the funnel that sits in the back of the harness.
I'll call Uncle if I have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Take another 5 points of fire damage. Sure. The runes, the numerous interwoven runes throughout this harness begin to alight and glow and pulse. The funnel itself, the back of this harness, begins to glow, and the magical energy begins to alleviate the gravity that you feel on the shard, on the spark itself. To the point where you can feel like you might be able to let go.
I'll let go.
Okay. It kind of hovers there.
I'll let go and let God. Okay.
And as it does, you can watch the vibrant flame that flickers deeply within this jagged-looking crystal that you together pulled forth from the center of this lava pool. Just slowly rotates. And as the runes glow brightly, Ashton, you feel this warmth in your chest, like you just drank an extremely hot tea on a very cold day. That begins to just blossom inside you.
The rainbow sparks begin.
As the heat begins to get warm to hot, to burning. All of the gold lines that you see throughout the fractures that keep Ashton together begin to glow orange. Ashton, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
23.
23. The heat within your chest, it feels like something is trying to awaken. Like a second heartbeat, like a dormant organ within you is starting to shift. And it flexes like a child punching from inside the womb. And when it does, you feel part of your shoulder lurch, and the heat extends from your chest to your shoulder. Fern, you watch as a large chunk of Ashton's shoulder cracks and falls, shattering on the ground. The heat spreads, and there's an odd moment where through his grin, you see a part of his ear on the ground. The gold marks throughout his body are now a bright orange, yellow, almost white coloration. And the rock of his skin is beginning to smolder.
Oh boy.
Ashton, you feel like something within you is pushing, and it hurts, and it hurts, and you take 15 points of fire damage.
Okay.
The crystal begins to lose its color.
Oh.
And you watch as it crumples and breaks and shatters.
Okay.
And now Ashton's chest is glowing like a furnace.
I would try to talk to Ashton because I would think Fern is getting.
Yeah.
So in Ashton's head, how's it going? Is she okay?
In my head,
Yeah.
all you hear over and over is from the earth, of the earth, to the earth, from the earth, of the earth, to the earth, from the earth, to the of the earth, to the earth.
You take 24 points of fire damage.
Can I like
I
try
need
to
you to make
lift
another
Orm
Constitution
up?
saving throw for me. What'd you roll?
11. I can't use
Oh my
use
God,
my
look at
fucking
Matt.
luck
Why is he
anymore.
doing that face?
I don't like that face.
Yo, Ash is gonna die.
Ashton, you close your eyes as you're muttering this, and you look up towards Fern, and where his eyes were, you just see these two bright burning coals that just emit this beam of orange heat light out in your direction. You see his body shaking, and there's another shift as his chest expands, and you hear a crack, and his right arm falls off the torso.
Oh my god.
Shatters.
Oh my god.
I think Orm would trail after Imogen.
I think I might start walking up there as well.
Roll it.
I'm gonna try to start taking the harness off.
Can I see anything
You rush up
yet?
to the top, and you see Fern rushing towards now this like volcanic, shaking, swelling, partially cracking Ashton.
No. No, 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 no.
Help! I'm trying to take the harness off.
You try and take the harness off.
Mid-spell.
I don't know. Okay,
I don't know.
I don't know.
We're not sure.
They're rushing towards you, Ashton. Are you doing anything?
Can I sense that they're heading towards me?
I would say yes, because you are very familiar with pain and focusing through the pain, that you, more than anybody, can maintain just enough focus through this white-hot sensation to see them rush towards you. You take 36 points of fire damage.
Have I gotten up there? Am I close enough to get it?
The rest of you have begun.
We're all
You're all starting to follow up
I'm
after
gonna
Imogen.
race over to him and try to touch him,
Um,
and just to throw on a death ward.
I am going to cast Aura of Life.
I actually had a question. I have a ring that lowers fire damage. Can I have been using this?
You do not have the concentration at the moment to utilize anything on you.
Okay.
It's taking you everything to not explode.
Your arm fell off. Is it next round yet? Can I cast another spell?
Is anybody? You're trying to hold it together. You take 48 points of fire damage.
Wait, well, you're not out, by the way, because you had death ward.
Yeah, you have death ward.
Correct. So
Okay.
the minute the consciousness slips from you, like you pretty much rush up, put the death ward on him, and as like the rune of protection emanates, it immediately shatters as he crumbles to another knee. And you can see as he's shaking, like parts of the body are breaking and falling on the ground. There's just this trail around him, this like growing pile of shale. Make another Constitution saving throw for me.
21.
Okay.
Yeah. 21.
You are barely holding on right now. You are slipping in and out of consciousness, and you feel this battling duality inside you. You are a man currently holding 2 bombs inside on the verge of detonation. The process takes a minute, by the way.
What does?
1 minute.
The harness.
How
You
far
are
are we?
4 rounds into a minute.
Oh my
So-
god.
24 seconds.
I just pumped 27 hit points into him.
Fantastic. And he just took 60 fire damage.
I'm out
I
again.
did?
He did.
Oh.
So I'm out again.
This isn't gonna work.
Okay.
Aura of life is the only thing that's keeping you up right now. As like you jump back to 1 hit point, and then another surge puts you down. You are holding it together and then losing it, and then holding it together and then losing it.
But I will use Seedling and Grasping Bind to yank the.
You use Seedling and yank. Make a strength check for me.
What am I adding? My
Just a
strength.
strength modifier.
There is no strength modifier. It is a straight roll. It's a 5.
It's a 5. You pull it off of him, but it kind of skitters to the ground. It doesn't come to you before it snaps off him.
But it's off of Ashton.
It's off of Ashton.
Okay. Then I will use Gust and blow it further away from Ashton.
Okay.
The transference is inside of him, though.
Yeah, sure, but I
Gotta
don't know.
try something.
Yeah. The harness is now seemingly inert as the process of transference has begun. Ashton, make another Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I'll also say I do have a thing that should have kicked in earlier, but I'll.
What is that?
It's the Ring of Temporal Salvation.
Yeah.
17.
Healing can last for a whole minute. Healing every
17?
round.
17.
As long as it keeps it.
You're holding together.
He's taking like 60 fire damage.
You
So-
take 34 points of fire damage.
I'm only at 1. Wait, did someone heal me before this, or?
She just
I
did
did
for
for 33.
So you're out again.
I'm out again.
Yeah.
And then I will cast Aura of Vitality, giving him 8 points.
So I'm back up to 8 before anything happens.
Okay.
Jesus.
Make another Constitution save.
Jesus. Come on, he can do this. He can power through. He's a rock man.
Ooh, terrible.
Rocks.
10.
You all watch as all of the gold parts in Ashton's body glow white hot. His eyes close and his face tenses as he looks up, and the beams of sheer bright light that pour from his eyes up into the sun tree's roots above. He screams before he shatters into 1,000 pieces, and they stop in the air. And form back as your ring breaks, and that brief little bit of inherent dunamis brings you back into that final moment before you shatter. You all watched your friend die and come back, and that ring is gone. And you have 5 more rounds.
Are we only really? We're not only that far. I thought we'd gone further.
Shit.
Takes a whole minute.
Fuck.
Okay.
I'm a crazy person. I'm well
He's
aware.
just got to roll good. He's just got to roll exceptionally good
For five more rounds.
Well, 4 now, I think.
That was the 5th.
Okay,
So 5 more rounds.
5 more rounds? Shit.
I start backing up.
Okay.
I knew this was going to be dumb.
Probably not fast.
That is 30,
Jesus Christ.
32,
Really?
32 points of fire damage.
Wait, hold on. 32. What did you just heal him for?
I'm at 43.
Okay, and 32. So he's not out.
Correct.
This round.
Correct.
This round.
But I mean, you guys are running on high level spells. You've got to be.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that's keeping him up is your aura. Roll another Constitution saving throw for me.
Duck. 16?
16? Okay.
It's like, yeah, fuck it.
You're barely holding yourself together.
That's the story of my life.
You do take
I'm out again.
27 points of fire
I'm
damage.
out again.
And he heals 7 points.
I'm not out again.
Heals 31 points.
Another Constitution saving throw for me.
I love that you know that I was going to do this.
I didn't.
Really? God, you just put a big red button in front of me.
Yeah, and a lot of warnings.
Yeah, and so many warnings.
Whole bunch of
This
warnings.
is
Hey
not
man,
made for one
hey, if you
person.
pull this off, fucking power to you.
Another 16.
Okay. That is going to be 21 points of fire damage. That's a truly shitty roll.
Thank you.
Still up.
Still up.
Another Constitution saving throw for me, Ashton. The DC at this point right now in these final 2 rounds is up to 15.
Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick.
I can't use mine.
Yeah. 21.
Okay. That'll be 32 points of fire damage.
I'm down.
I will heal him for 9 points of healing.
Are you healing him with what each turn?
Aura of whatever it's
Oh, aura
called.
healing, right.
It's called Aura of Vitality.
Got it.
Every Every round I can do 2d6.
That's true.
That's so cool.
If
Make
he
another
does it,
Constitution
it's
save.
just we.
Yeah.
27.
Okay.
This is this last one. That's what I'm freaked out about.
Allison, do not molly yourself again.
This was a bit more intentional, though.
Yeah.
Take 34 points of fire damage.
I'm out.
I will heal you.
Anybody want to heal now?
Yes,
now would be the point.
Anybody,
10 points.
anybody,
10
anybody want to
points.
use up any more?
10 points.
If you rub dice
All right,
on your
Ashton.
temple.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Is this the last one or second to last
I
one?
think this is
Last
the
one.
last
one.
Liam, give witness.
I'm scared to look at
I'm
it.
gonna fucking kill him if he survives.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill him if he dies.
Gonna beat the shit.
Either
out
way,
of
he
him.
dies.
I'm aware.
Why don't you roll it here in the middle of the table?
All right.
Yeah. Put it in
I
the middle.
cannot even look at this. I can't look at this. I have to walk away.
Yeah, get it on the CR logo, you maniac.
I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way.
What does that mean?
Not
He's
looking.
not gonna look at it.
It's good.
It's
Really
good.
good.
It's high.
Plus 8.
16
plus.
Plus 8. Never look if you want to win. Never fucking look when you want to win.
You
Don't
shut your
act
mouth.
shocked. Don't act shocked.
I'll kick you in your ball sack. God damn.
The heat begins to subside as Ashton falls unconscious onto his side of where the arm is no longer present. There's a moment where you think he's gone. And then he erupts in steam, filling the entirety of the apex of the ziggurat with mist. All of you pull back, the heat of it burning your eyes, filling your throat with hot moisture, and you can't help but cough in a moment. And as it passes, you look over and see him there cooling, unmoving. And you come too.
How much body do I have left?
You kind of sit up and you glance over. And where your arm was, there is a heavy, muscular, molten rock arm replacing what you've lost. That just kind of glows. Where gold veins once were, there's now just twisting spiral cracks of orange.
Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for saving me.
I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna kick you in your face with my hoof. I am never listening to you again!
That's probably a really good idea.
As you lie there, kind of taken in this moment of survival and what that means, uncertain of what has transpired here, the rest of you begin to step up and process how close you were to losing Ashton. Here under the roots of the sun tree, atop a place of much loss, it seemed at least something was saved this time.
Ashton, I think you might have upset some of our friends. And I'm pretty sure we're all going to need to have a little talk about this, but for right now, are you with us? Are you okay?
Well, that's a complicated question. But how many of there's 3 of you here?
Just me, Imogen. Oh, Orem walked away too.
Orms is the back of the ziggurat watching this with a stoic expression and kind of takes a huffing breath and then descends after Fern.
3 is good. There's 3 of you. You've decided not to kill me. That's nice.
I don't know. I mean,
for now.
Sure put a lot of effort into keeping you alive.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What in the Changebringer's name were you thinking? Why did you do that? Well,
long answer, short answer.
Whatever you got the energy for. Look, I'm not gonna. You found me in a moment when I had done something really bad, and you didn't judge me, and so I'm gonna try not to do that to you. But
I didn't.
What the fuck were you doing?
It seemed like a good idea at the time. You really did. I was.
Stupid?
I was stupid.
No, you weren't. You weren't stupid. You were power hungry.
I wasn't power hungry.
You were talking about being a hero and saving people.
I just wanted my parents. I just wanted my fucking family. I don't know what I wanted. I wanted this thing that isn't even real. That isn't. It was just there, and I was out for 10 seconds, and I had this really weird moment where I met myself. You'd think it happened more than it does, but I saw my parents and me, and it was a me that had never gone through the portal or any of that, where everything had worked and everything had gone the way it was supposed to, and I was who I was supposed to be. And I met me with my family and everything, and I wasn't good, and they weren't good, and I was not good. This isn't good, but I was not good.
In what way?
I was a really bad person. It was a dream. It was just.
But bad like evil? Selfish? Conceited?
Selfish, and I am conceited.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. How is this person different than you?
Cruel. Vicious. I didn't even know them. I didn't know anything about them. All I knew is they did one stupid thing. And a bunch of smart people kept trying to tell me that they were not that smart. And that maybe they were not that great. But I just wanted a part of them, and it was right there. And I thought maybe it would fix me. Maybe they were what I needed, and no, they weren't what I needed. It didn't fix anything, it made it worse. And it's nobody's fault but mine. None of it. It's all my fucking fault. This is my fucking fault. This shit. Fucking everything is my fucking fault. And if it isn't my fault, I certainly didn't do anything to deal with it. Fuck. I fucked up a lot.
Yeah. I think you did.
Yeah.
I understand trying to, I guess, fix the problems of your past or whatever, but I'm still not... Who were you doing this for? You said your family?
No, it wasn't.
I guess...
You wanted to be closer to them, the idea of them. Ashton, you already had it inside of you.
They were... I know. I don't want them. I don't know them. Why would I want them? I don't know what I wanted. I wanted to feel robbed. I wanted to feel like I lost something. Maybe I didn't. Maybe this was the best way to go. There's no way to know. Maybe it was a fucking blessing being dropped in that fucking desert. There's no way to know. And it doesn't matter. So that's not what fucking happened. Hey.
I made you this.
I was gonna ask, is that me?
Yes. I made you a doll, because dolls are for children. And you're a child.
I've never had a doll before.
Really?
This is the nicest thing anyone's ever given me. Oh my God.
I like children.
I don't. They're awful.
They're not.
They can't be.
You should remember what it's like to be one.
I do. It wasn't great.
Speaking of Fern, are you going to take this shard? They've told us a few times the more we hold on to it, the more of a beacon it makes us.
I'm sorry I said I was disappointed in you. It's
no,
not...
I felt the same. I feel like I've been scared of something that in some ways is inevitable, but maybe not a bad thing. I think I kind of want it. I think I want to try it.
For whatever that stone means, and whatever it means to whatever fucking thing my parents screwed up, or otherwise, I can't think of anyone else who should benefit from it as much as you. It seems to... I refuse to believe in destiny, but it seems like it was made for you.
I feel the same way. I don't like that whole thing. What do you all think? Yay, nay, yay?
If you're gonna do it, I mean, you're home.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have Nana here in case something goes wrong.
Nana would totally be able to help out.
Yeah, got the more.
You have the fate stitch
right on hand.
So, unlike when the ritual had begun with Ashton, where the body seemed to be rocked with a conflicting source of explosive energy, this seems to be a gradual burning sensation. And you watch as the crystal's light now begins to dim. You can see a light brightening through Fern's skin. The bits of the harness, the bits that kind of poke through where the arms come through the harness and the neck, you can see like a glow beginning to emit from underneath.
Holy shit.
You all right, Fernie?
Yeah, it's just it's like a little heartburn. It's okay, I got it.
You take 16 points of fire damage. Make another Constitution saving throw to see if you can maintain concentration on your aura.
Ooh, that's a natural one.
Natural 1. Your spell fades. Your aura's now gone. Your spell is vanished. However, the crystal is beginning to crumble on one side, and you can see as the glow is now filtering through the funnel, that glow, that dull orange glow underneath her collarbone and outside the edges of her torso is now getting to a brighter orange, and you can see almost like the edges of her hair are starting to curl back from the heat.
Oh, shit.
You feel like your heart itself is a burgeoning star. It's like, as much as it hurts, it also feels powerful. It feels like a core of strength you've never experienced before. Like holding on to an unmoving rung of a ladder that's keeping you from falling, but it's inside you, and it's holding firm. It hurts, but it's yours. You all watch as Fern now, the last bit of the crystal is starting to crumble, and it's now this dull kind of red cinder glow. While now Fern's skin above the neck is now turning orange-white. You can see her eyes are starting to go from the normal colored pupils to themselves a bright orange, and you can see the light just kind of pouring out of it. Her hair,
Beautiful.
that you thought was curling back from the heat, is now curling back to a golden glow itself, and she's starting to lift up off the ground.
Whoa.
As you're drifting up in the air, you look up and can see the sky and the clouds, and suddenly the image of your home and comfort space around you flickers into a flash of inferno, then back again, almost like your vision is blurring in flame. There's 32 points of fire damage.
You okay? You okay? Okay. I'm gonna go up.
3 hit points.
I'm gonna go up and touch her. For a 5th level cure wounds.
Okay. In that moment of connection, the entity embraces you. And the rest of you watch as Fern has now lifted 20 feet in the air. Her arms curl in like she's embracing herself. And in that moment, the light becomes a bright white, and she leashes her hands out as flames emit from all sides. The top of the garden just gets singed across in like a 50-foot radius. All the creatures immediately scatter back off to the sides. You watch as Issylra puts up a barricade around, a magical energy barricade that prevents it from burning all the critters and creatures that were watching. And in that moment, Fern, the light begins to subside. The flames begin to die down, and you slowly lower back into your space. But as you all stand there, you can see Fern just gently lifting off the ground a couple of inches. Her hair still curling flames, her eyes just a bright orangish-yellow color with little flicks of flame licking out of it. Her horns still this like curved, smoldering, kind of red-veined, rock-like formation. The harness itself is the only like dark part across her chest as she seems to emit light around her. You can see as like the flames flick up her upper arm, and the fire that licks off of her fingers curls into a black flame at the tip.
Oh.
Shit.
Wow.
You have?
That's a big card.
This is such a big piece of paper. I feel really good. I feel really kind of powerful.
I mean, maybe we are powerful enough to take on.
Maybe we are.
Are
Maybe
you
this is
even going to be able to sleep tonight?
probably not.
But wait,
I'm gonna
wasn't your shard supposed to wake up your shard? Is your shard awake now? Now that you like put it in your body and then spit it back out?
Oh, that's right.
Did you feel like you awoke?
Kiss.
You guys should hug and make up.
Whoa.
Hey now, this is not.
This is.
Shake hands. Shake hands.
The legend was that they were like husband and wife, right?
I feel like that's a lot of expectation to put on two people right now, especially with the fucking audience. So.
Yeah, for sure. I was just saying like a fist bump, just something to bury the hatchet.
What if you just touch
Go put
palm
my
to
hand
palm?
Yeah.
Shake on it?
It's Holy Palmer's kiss.
Shake and I.
I'll take it.
Did anything happen?
No, throw the fire. I'm not going to do shit.
So you clasp the new arm. As your hand touches his, you watch as those little veins that were once glowing when you first created the arm in the past ritual that has since gone cold, light up once more, and as that orangish heat, those veins kind of curl back through up into your arm, you feel that familiar sense of like belonging to the ground. You when you sat for a bit in Whitestone, you felt that odd connection, but now it's overwhelming you. You through your feet, you feel like the stone in the middle of this garden. You feel like in a brief flash, you can feel the history of the stone. You can feel where in the ground in the Fae it was carved and hewn and placed there. You suddenly, in that moment, hear, even above the tree, not fully connected to the stone of the realm itself, You see a flicker of flame in her eyes, and then as your vision fades out, you can feel yourself pushing through darkness, like you're burrowing through sand, but the sand itself is shale and rock. You are burrowing through the very earth of Exandria. You are pushing through the ground, and yet you are one with it. And suddenly you emerge like a massive whale breaching from the ocean, but through the rock itself. And you look beyond to an endless mountain range that is ever growing and folding on itself. And you feel a time before time. You feel where the land itself was still forming, being made and unmade, where all the elements swam between each other, and in such creation and destruction was a singular process. And as you come back to your vision, you feel this strength begin to fill your chest. The rest of you watch as Ashton seems to suddenly grow about a foot, 2 feet.
Whoa.
You watch as the arm itself seems to swell and spikes of rock jut out of it, as around his torso, the bits of his skin begin to jut out additional jagged spikes of stone and rock. You watch as his eyes begin to shift color into a faded gray coloration, and suddenly both the smooth eyes of gray crack in the center, and where they crack, it's a vertical iris where a dull yellow glow just appears out. As you release your grip and pull back, the orange glowing veins subside, but you feel this sense of strength and sturdiness that you've never understood until now. You feel like, as a being that spent their life feeling broken and unwhole for the first time in a long time, not just because of what power you found in yourself, but the people that surround you, you feel complete.
So that's Ashton.